Today on Madden 26, I'm going to be taking over one of the worst teams in the entirety of the NFL, the New York Jets, a team that has faced a lot of misery over the last decade plus. We're going to be taking over as coach and GM and doing a full-on realistic rebuild of this Jets team where we're going to just do as we normally do on this channel and spectate, not hop in any games, not take over the action. We're just going to purely be a spectator to the playoff games, and I'm going to do my best to make things as realistic as possible for this team and not like just go and make a bunch of ridiculous trades that just don't make any sense and get 5 first-round picks and then draft the best team ever. I'm going to try to do this like a normal, regular, actual NFL GM would, and one big caveat to this as well is I have made my own custom rosters because year by year Madden ratings are just brutal, and I just couldn't do it with Madden ratings this year. Like, it's just so bad. So the rosters I made, they're not perfect, but they're, I think, a more accurate representation of how good the players on every team are, or at least closer to that. So here is this Jets team, and we have a couple of really nice players. I really like what the Jets have in terms of star power. There's a couple of core pieces. Yeah, Garrett Wilson is a player that we're not planning on going anywhere. We're not going to be getting rid of Garrett Wilson. This offensive line is awesome to build around. Elijah Vera Tucker being the best one now, but Armand Membu and having Olufoshanu the last 2 years in the first round going to be a cornerstone. And you got the best player on this team, arguably, Quinnen Williams, who's going to be a star. Jamie Sherwood was a big step-up player for them last season. CJ Mosley out, Jamie Sherwood in, and then one of the 3 best corners in the league, Sauce Gardner, who another player that we don't plan on letting go anywhere. So this is a little peek at the rosters that I made. Like, I'm not going to show every position, but, you know, like, I do feel like Madden, they just don't nail the ratings the best, and, you know, they give a lot of leeway to players who are just old and washed and have name value, and they are also really hesitant to, like, prop up certain rookies like Neighbors and Brian Thomas, who obviously are top 10 receivers in the league at this point already, and they're just a little hesitant to boost them up. So I went through and made my own rosters, but everything else is pretty straightforward. So, you know, players like on the Jets, for example, like Jamie Sherwood was like way too low. He's like a captain for the team in real life, had a really nice year, made them feel really comfortable about moving on from CJ Mosley, who retired. I think he deserved a boost. Guys like Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams are elite at their positions. Garrett Wilson, one of, I'd say, the 15 true #1 target wide receivers. Another little thing I'm going to do for myself is the training camps are, I'm not going to say overpowered, but they're pretty strong. You get a guaranteed attribute upgrade. I'm going to limit myself to only doing 3 per year. So I'm only going to be able to focus on 3 players during training camp. And the 3 players we pick, obviously we're going with the young offensive lineman, but elsewhere, Braylon Allen, a player that I'm really excited for. Maybe he could be the future running back of this team. And Will McDonald, who was a first-round pick out of Iowa State, who's had a really promising season last year. Now, one area on this team that is definitely going to be interesting is, like I said with Braylon Allen, the running back spot. Breece Hall was really poor last year relative to his standards, and his overall is more so a reflection of the player he's been in his career. Also, after preseason, we signed Jahan Dotson for some receiver depth. Why not? I mean, the Eagles let him go. These rosters are before preseason cuts because that's when I recorded this and everything. So guys like Malachi Corley are on the team, maybe not for long though, but I'm gonna kind of take you through the first season. But a guy like Breece Hall, for example, was not good last season, and, you know, is kind of disgruntled with his time right now in New York upon a contract extension. Definitely a player that we're looking to maybe move on from. John Simpson in the first season suffered a major injury, but so far, like, we go early on the season, it's looking pretty good. I mean, we beat the Bucks and the Bills, and then when we get to contract negotiations, Vera Tucker, someone we definitely want to keep around, and I want to keep him around for an extended period of time, so we're going to go to a 3-year deal and go at about 16-ish million per year. Then you go to Quincy Williams, a former 3rd-round pick from Jacksonville. They kind of just gave up on him too early. He goes to New York and does a really good job breaking out as one of the better linebackers in the league, made an all-pro team, I'm pretty sure. But we're doing pretty dang good right now. Quinnen Williams off a 2.5 sack performance helps us beat the Dolphins, and at least early on the season, we're 4-2. Now, I haven't really spoke about him yet, but Justin Fields, he's got this cult of fans that, like, just really believe in him. I don't fall into that camp of thinking Justin Fields is a franchise quarterback. He is one of the 32 best quarterbacks, but not really much beyond maybe like the 25th best quarterback in the league. Breece Hall, meanwhile, I mean, coming up on a contract extension, we're sitting here now at 5-2. I know we're doing well right now, but you obviously don't look at this Jets team and think that they're going to be contenders, even if they do make the playoffs this year. Breece Hall on a contract year, who's not playing well this season either. This is the first big trade, trading Breece Hall to the Cowboys, basically for a 4th-round pick, and then we're going to turn around, flip Vidarian Mathis and a 6 for Kamani Vidal for some running back depth. I'm a big Kamani Vidal fan coming out of the draft, but you know, we'll see if he can really do something here. We're going to turn the reins over to Braylon Allen, and even though after we do trade Breece Hall, we go on a bit of losing streak, I don't think that's really, you know, like coinciding with one another. Breece Hall wasn't doing all that well for us. He was averaging under 4 yards a carry. But as we kind of advance towards the end of the season, interestingly enough, we're sitting here at 8-8. And again, surprisingly, 8-8 is good enough to be in the playoffs right now. Some other teams are slipping. Broncos are having a disappointing year. The Patriots are having a really good year. Jaguars haven't been, you know, breaking through. The Texans are struggling. But we go into the next week. We go to the playoffs. We actually lose. But at 8-9, we sneak into the playoffs, which is really interesting. Like, it was a really balanced year for the AFC. A lot of teams not really separating from one another. Olufushano's going to be missing our playoff game. But Breece Hall, it's funny how we trade him to the Cowboys and he immediately goes and has like a way better season. You've seen what his stats were in like the 6 or 7 games with us, and then he goes to Dallas and, you know, 4 yards per carry like every single week basically. But we actually got playoff action, which I don't know how Jets fans would feel about this if you go and make the playoffs this year, because I don't think you believe that you're going to go far. Obviously, this is not a team that's ready to compete. And, I mean, unless you are the biggest Justin Fields believer and everything comes together perfectly and the offensive line gels together that soon to become a top 10 unit, I don't think you're really in that spot. But I think for the optimistic side, you could be like, yeah, we got some pieces here. I think the Jets really do got some pieces. They got star power with Quinnen Williams, Garrett Wilson, and Sauce Gardner, but we'll see how they could do in the playoffs. Right now is, like I said, spectating the playoffs. We got the second half of the games, and it's against Drake May and another team that's ascending, breaking out in the New England Patriots. As it's 10-3, Fields and the offense takes over. They go and find Mason Taylor, one of the other potential building blocks of this offense, as Fields is taking a shot deep on 3rd down, looking for Garrett Wilson, and it's knocked away. I do think for the Jets, though, if 8 wins, I think is more so on, like, the highest, like, that 8 wins for the Jets this year, I think is, like, kind of like their ceiling, 8 or 9. And, you know, 8 wins typically wouldn't put you in the playoffs, but, you know, you get a lucky year, you get a couple of things to go your way, and you find yourselves in the playoffs. Now, that doesn't help us for our draft selection, because it's not going to be a very good one, and if we're looking for our franchise quarterback, I don't think we're going to be able to maybe find it with a pick in the 20s, but we're going to see what we can do. This puts us in a really interesting position, because we're not going to be able to take one of the top guys, as the Patriots are going to put it in the end zone on their next drive. Drake May finding Austin Hooper for the score. It is 17-3 as Fields goes outside, and that's going to be Garrett Wilson breaking a tackle, making a move, and Garrett Wilson for the first down. Gain of 11 yards as we are 4 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. And Braylon Allen, tough to bring down running back as he gets 6, 2nd down and 4, but past to Mason Taylor. And Taylor's got the first down into Patriot territory as Fields is going to try to move up in the pocket, but Josh Farmer, rookie, gets the sack, and it's 2nd down and 16. Fields will throw over the middle, and Garrett Wilson gets it for a 3rd down and 4 situation as Fields outside. Mason Taylor, he's coming up big. Couple of catches in this half as they're going to go on the ground and lighting him up. Braylon Allen loses yards. Now 3rd and 13. They send the screen out, and that's not going to go all that far, so it will be a field goal try, as the 3rd quarter will be coming to an end with a 17-6 score as the kickoff. Back deep, 11-point game. Can the Jets special teams come up with something big here? It's not looking like it, as the Patriots got a good return and past the 45 to the 47. Great starting field position for Drake May as we send in the blitz, and May to the outside has the catch, and he's fighting but not quite gonna get there. Kyle Williams gets it to 3rd and inches. May sneaks it to start the 4th quarter, and he has it. As now May, quick drop out of the I formation. He's going to scramble. May is a good running threat. He's going to break a tackle and get the first down into field goal range. Now handoff, Ramondre Stevenson. Ramondre gets 7, 2nd and 3. Handoff to Stevenson, he gets to the edge, and Sauce and others meet him, but he has the first down. May back to the air, and the pressure gets in, and a sack. 3rd and 18, as you gotta hold them to a field goal if you're gonna have a chance, and you do. Nice defense from Sherwood to get the field goal try out, and it will be 20-6, so still a 2-score game with just over 8.5 to play. Justin Fields gonna use his legs. That's what he does best in Fields. Scrambles to the 44-yard line. Now play action. Fields is gonna throw outside, and there's the fullback with the grab, and that's gonna be a gain of 7. Now we get it to 3rd down inches. Fields sneaks it, has the first. But we're taking our time here. 6.5 to play. Sweep it out. Braylon Allen, not much of a horizontal runner. And he's going to lose 8 yards on the play. You don't want to lose 8 on a run. 3rd down and 18 now. Fields will throw it short, but you're not going to get really all that close. It's still going to be 4th down and long. 4th and 10. Play action. Fields is going to try to run for it. Fields, can he get there? He's a yard shy. And Jack Gibbons brings him down, and the Patriots take over. Ramondre Stevenson's running hard, and this is where the Patriots want to be. Stevenson, Henderson can get the ground going and just run out this clock, but the Patriots are eventually going to turn it over and punt the football away. But by that point, the Jets got just 3 minutes to go, and Fields is getting sacked. 2nd and 18. Fields is going to find Mason Taylor again. At least Mason Taylor has been a bit of a bright spot, but 3rd down and 8 hits. And Fields over the middle. There you go. Completion. He's just shy of the first down. 4th and inches. Fields is going to scramble. He's getting flushed out of the pocket, but there goes Fields for the first down. And with just over 2 minutes to play, Fields going to try to run again. And he's not going to get far. Just 3 yards. 2-minute warning hits. And 3rd down for Fields. He's going to throw one to the outside. And he couldn't get his foot in. I thought he had that. Now 4th and 10. Fields short. That's just not going to happen. That is unfortunate. Patriots take over in this game, likely over, tossing it out. Ramondre Stevenson, he gets free. Ramondre, 1 man to beat, sheds a tackle, touchdown New England. And the Patriots are going to put it away. Ramondre Stevenson from 45 yards out, and the Jets go down 27-6. Can't really say I'm surprised. I mean, you make the playoffs, you weren't really expected to get this far, but I still think it's impressive overall that you were able to go out and win 8 games and at least make a playoff appearance. So I think Jets fans, they kind of feel like indifferent about that, because you'd be sitting here on one hand saying, yeah, this team performed above expectations. Cool. You broke the playoff drought. You got there. But on the other hand, you'd be sitting there and saying, man, this team still isn't anywhere near competing, and we maybe don't have the draft capital that we thought we could have had this season, but maybe it'll give us an opportunity to explore some other options. Maybe some players will be more interested in joining us in free agency. Justin Fields, 28 touchdowns, 10 picks, pretty solid. Run game, though, was awful. Breece Hall wasn't great. Braylon Allen wasn't great. No one was really all that good for this team. And then the receiving game, though, Garrett Wilson was spectacular, and Josh Reynolds, Malachi Corley got in some of the action there, and Mason Taylor was okay, 5 touchdowns, but Garrett Wilson was the story there, 1,300 yards. And then on defense, how about Will McDonald? 12 sacks, Jermaine Johnson getting 7, Quinnen Williams getting 6, and Jamian Sherwood had a great season as well. Sauce Gardner. So we did have a couple of Pro Bowlers. Sauce Gardner, Jamian Sherwood, Garrett Wilson, definitely the key players going into the Pro Bowl this season, as Sauce had 4 picks and 10 pass breakups. It's a really good year. And then in the Super Bowl, we get the Ravens versus Commanders. It's like my dream Super Bowl for this year. That's what I'm hoping for. Lamar wins it, wins MVP. I also thought this was really interesting. Tony Pollard retired. That's pretty odd. 7 years pro. I know he's a running back, so 7 years for a running back is like 15 for a regular player, but still, retiring after 7 years is interesting, and I've noticed that a little bit more with running backs, and certain other positions do retire like 8-9 years rather than just waiting until they're like ancient. But this is what the team's looking like right now after the progression and everything in year 1, and got a couple of players north of 30, but I think this team overall, like, they showed me some stuff to be excited about, and the star players really came through. I said Wilson, Gardner, Quinnen Williams, core building blocks. They showed out. And some of the other players, like Will McDonald, we're going to get an extension done for him and, get the 5th-year option situated and all that. But elsewhere, we have $120 million. And I don't think there's really much need because we're getting rid of some of these bad contracts as well. Like, the Alan Lazard contract was awful. He was only brought in for Aaron Rodgers. He expired. We can let him go. Some of these other older players, Nick Folk, we don't need a 41-year-old kicker anymore. We don't need Andrew Beck anymore. We don't need some of these older offensive linemen. I would like to bring back at least one of these guys to be like a depth piece for us because, never bad to have like a nice sixth or seventh man on the offensive line, but not going to happen there. Tony Adams, we don't need back. We don't need Cisco back. I mean, Cisco's all right, but I think I'm looking to maybe move to a little bit more of an exciting player at the safety spot. We also have Malachi Moore, who we can maybe develop as well, but we're going to get Max Mitchell as the only other player sticking around. And everyone else we're going to let go. I think John Simpson's the only player that I'd really be eyeing bringing back if there's not a better guard option for us. But Simpson did miss a pretty big chunk of the season this past year. So we get to free agency. Aiden Hutchinson available. We are not having that go down. We're not going to be, drawing any interest, nor are we really going to spend the assets there. I respect Trey Lance for asking for $20 million. He developed a little bit, and I guess a team might give him a chance. I mean, $20 million for Trey Lance is something, but, I'm just looking at the quarterback market just because at the very least you want to bring in maybe a backup or something. But I want to spend some time talking receiver. I think this team really does need a receiver. Garrett Wilson, like I said at the start, one of those 15-ish true number one guys that you don't got to worry about. And what do you do when you have a receiver like Garrett Wilson? You want to surround him with complementary skill sets. Jalen Coker hitting free agency is the player that caught my eye big time. Coker for about a little over $9 million. I would love that. I'd even bump that up to $10 million. I want to get complementary skill sets because even the Jets in real life kind of have that set up right now. They have Josh Reynolds, Arian Smith, who they drafted to be the deep threat. Josh Reynolds, more the bigger body possession guy. And then Malachi Corley was supposed to be more the gadgety, situational player. So I want to get those complementary skill sets around Garrett Wilson. Jalen Coker being the more reliable Adam Thielen type. I mean, literally the Panthers traded Adam Thielen in real life to the Vikings just so they can have Coker step into Thielen's role. I want to bring in Coker to take that role up. We don't need Josh Reynolds anymore. He's gone. Malachi Corley and Arian Smith, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the Arian Smith's draft selection, so I didn't really want to invest in him. If there's a better option out there for a deep threat, we'll go and take it. But I'm not really rolling into next season with confidence in Arian Smith. Malachi Corley doesn't need to be here; he hasn't been a success, but I think Coker and finding a third piece could be really interesting for us. Then I moved over to the secondary. I think speaking of getting complementary pieces, you want to do that for Sauce Gardner, getting him a co-star or getting him some guys around him that can help him out. Damar Hamlin, we all know the story about him, but legitimately, jokes aside, memes aside that some of the people make about him and all that stuff, he was pretty solid last year for the Bills, and he took a little bit of a step up. He's an 80 overall. I went to go and offer him a contract. He was very interested. Another guy I wanted to bring in, Noah Igbenogany, another guy who was really impressive last year for Washington, and a guy who has nickel and outside versatility for this team. So we are going to, put some other contract offer out there. John Simpson, I put an offer out there for him just in case, but the Browns are kind of fighting us for him. I didn't really like the guard market, so I thought just Simpson on a 2-year deal would make sense to just bring him back as, hopefully the weakest link on this offensive line, which if John Simpson's your weakest link, you're not doing too bad. But a couple of other offers, Colby Parkinson I offered, Sky Moore I offered. Sky Moore more that return man, gadgety type of player that we can bring in as depth. And, unfortunately, Simpson didn't want to sign on, so I had to really scramble, look for Trevor Penning as maybe a emergency guard starter if I can't find anything else. I want edge rush depth as well. You got Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson, but you'd like a number 3, so that's where Kyle Van Noy can come in, potentially 35 years old. Probably not going to get you 10 sacks a season anymore like he's been doing as of late, but I think it'd still be a nice piece. And there's the free agency class, majority of it kind of put in together. I think everything makes sense here. KJ Britt being a number 3 linebacker, Sky Moore as a backup, Sam Howell as a backup, Colby Parkinson being the number 2 tight end, Trevor Penning to compete for a guard spot, Keaton Mitchell as a running back depth piece, and then a trade to be made here, a very small trade. I know Malachi Corley got cut in real life, but I mean, this was before he got cut. I recorded this, so I traded him to Washington. Malachi Corley in a 6th for Nick Allegretti. Think that makes sense. Washington has Sam Cosmi and Brandon Coleman at their guard spot, so Allegretti for $7 million as a backup doesn't really make too much sense for them. They go and grab a late round draft pick, and Corley was drafted basically just because of the success of a guy like Deebo Samuel. Washington has Deebo. Maybe he can be the Deebo replacement. So here's the quarterback class. Obviously focused all my assets looking at quarterbacks, and there is a lot of guys here. And unfortunately, this is kind of the point of maybe we did a little too good this year. There's a really good quarterback on the board, but he's a top 5 player. There's another good quarterback on the board. He's a top, first round guy, top 5 level person who could be going that high in the draft. We're sitting here at pick 20, and it's like, well, what do we do? I mean, our options, Hunter May, Quentin Harris, a couple other guys a little bit later on in the draft. It's not looking all that exciting for us potentially, because we're not going to be able to get these top 2 guys, and even a guy like Reggie Alexander probably isn't going to be able to be had either unless we want to make a big trade up. Speaking of trades, we'll make a trade right here. Michael Carter's a really nice nickel corner, one of the higher end nickel corners in the league, but $12 million for a guy who, while he's nice, he is going to be a little bit older. I think it's going to be nice to just get rid of him. Panthers really need cornerback help outside of J.C. Horn. So to get a nickel corner, Michael Carter, that makes a lot of sense. We trade Michael Carter in a 4th to move into the 3rd round and move up. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Also in free agency, we made 2 extra pickups. We got Patrick Ricard. Think that it works out for this team. I really want to have a fullback on my roster. If I were a coach or, running a team, I would definitely have one of the higher implementations of a fullback of my offense. So Ricard makes sense there. And then a punter, Ryan Stonehouse. So on to the draft, where we sit here at the 20th pick. And while it would have been nice to go and full send the 20th pick and 2 other 1st round picks and go all the way up, I don't think that would be the move for us. So Brocker is the top 5 talent quarterback who's really good. Dolphins are going to snag him. You could say bye-bye to Tua. And when you look on to the draft, it's going to basically be kind of how we expect. Wagner goes to the Colts. That makes sense. Reggie Alexander goes to the Raiders. I think that makes sense for the Raiders to take a quarterback to be the successor to Geno Smith. And that means all the 3 top quarterbacks are gone. And we now are going to be going pick by pick, and we need a quarterback, I think. Justin Fields had a nice season, but we didn't roll into this rebuild, and the Jets in real life as well aren't rolling into things thinking Justin Fields is the future quarterback. He has a limited upside. He's not a elevating quarterback. He elevates the run game, but he does not do much for the passing game. So we sit here at the 20th pick. I really like Alec Parker at wide receiver, but I don't think wide receiver is where we need to go in round 1, especially because we signed Jalen Coker. I really believe in Coker, so I don't think we need to spend a 1st on receiver. It's got to be quarterback, and I think the best quarterback that we could get here is Quentin Harris. So I think looking at the situation we're in right now, we could trade down slightly. The teams that are slightly behind us don't need a quarterback. So it's not going to be a big-time trade down. We're going from 20 to 25 and picking up a 4th and a 6th. A 4th and a 6th isn't crazy, but Titans have Cam Ward. They're not taking a quarterback. The Packers, they got Jordan Love. They're not taking a quarterback. Chargers have Herbert. Cardinals have Kyler. Eagles have Hurts. There was no quarterback threat here. So I think moving down to 25, I wanted to make sure I still stayed in front of the Rams, because the Rams still might need a quarterback because of the whole Stafford situation. But this is where we're going. Quentin Harris, round 2 to 3 talent, but the athleticism is there. Ran a 4.49 40 time at his pro day. By far the best athlete in this class for quarterbacks, and if we want to, have a smoother transition for Justin Fields in the run game and still keep that as a part of our offense, Quentin Harris gives us the best chance to do that. And obviously in this day and age in the NFL, mobility is important at the quarterback position, so the pick is going to be made. I'm going to be a little happy that this quarterback class was pretty good and that we were able to get a guy like Quentin Harris still later on in the 1st round. Obviously not some generational crazy guy, he's just a round 2 to 3 talent, but I think he's got a lot of tools that we can really be excited about. Harris is going to be 70th overall in true talent. We knew that was going to be a little bit lower, but how about 91 throw power, hidden dev, 86 speed, 89 change of direction? All the athleticism stuff is nice, and he has a good enough arm for us. So we're satisfied with that, and I think that if the development, especially if it's superstar or better, we could be really in for a franchise quarterback here. So we go to the 2nd round, and there is a player I do have, my eyes on, and it's getting like really close to where he's supposed to be drafted. So, I wanted Juan Burke. He was the guy that I probably wanted most in the second round. He goes to the Seahawks, but wasn't the player overall that I thought I would be making a selection with. I'm going to make a small trade up. 52 is where we are at right now. We're at pick 50. Zach Stevens, the running back that we are eyeing right now, is projected to go at 50. So I'm going to use 2 6th-round picks, move up 2 spots, jump in front of the Texans, who have 2 old running backs, Mixon and Chubb. And I'm going to take Zach Stevens. He is a true first-round talent, an elusive back, 21 years old, out of LSU. And the thing with him, fast as well. So if we want to get a little bit more speed, I think this is a nice complementary piece. Braylon Allen brings the power. He brings the short yardage situation. He brings the strength and the hard to bring down ability. Zach Stevens, we hope, can bring a bit more of that horizontal running attack. And maybe if he can also develop as a nice receiver, we have ourselves a 3rd down back as well. But I think a combo potentially of Braylon Allen and Zach Stevens could help us out quite a bit. We know he's going to be at least a pretty playable overall, 14th in true talent, and to make it even all that much more better, hidden development, 94 speed. We get to the 3rd round, wasn't loving the depth of this draft class that much, kind of like that middle portion, so I just kind of traded down from the 3rd round, and we have a quantity of picks in the 4th round. We're going to just fire those off right now. Cornerback, Morgan Powell. We signed Noah Igbenogany. We traded away Michael Carter. The difference between those two, I don't think was majorly substantial because of the money that we saved on Michael Carter going from him to Noah Igbenogany, but we still need some cornerback depth. Poe is going to at least help us out there. Maybe we can develop him. Demario Pierce at edge rusher. I was looking for some edge rush help. I don't know if I'm exactly going to be getting it with Demario Pierce. That's not a good draft selection, but you can't hit on all your draft picks. Rashard Perkins at wide receiver. He is a round 3 to 4 talent in day 3, so I think that is a fine enough selection. Wide receiver still pretty wide open for that number 3 spot. We have Coker and Wilson, but number 3 is pretty wide open. Between Arian Smith, Sky Moore, maybe Rashard Perkins, and whoever else we can find, we can maybe find a number 3 receiver, but I don't know. I mean, it's not looking great for that number 3 spot, but we hope, maybe a guy like Mason Taylor can make up for the lack of receiver depth, and maybe Zach Stevens could be nice. This defensive tackle, though, not too nice. He's got solid raw athleticism but normal development, low talent. A pleasant surprise here, though. How about Glenn Lindsay, who we, kind of dug down into this draft class looking at the cornerbacks, and I thought he had really nice athleticism, nice stats, could maybe play nickel for us. How about 40th in true talent? And even though he's normal dev, I really like the skill set here, and maybe we can develop him down the line. How about also at guard, looking for guard depth? We have Nick Allegretti and Trevor Penning, but I'm not really comfortable with our guard spot right now because we lost John Simpson. Well, how about Doug Bowden, who is 28th in true talent, hidden dev, and a potentially massive steal for this team. And how about also, we go even further on, he's 321st in true talent at linebacker. Hey, but he's hidden development. We'll take it. 86 speed, 90 excel. Maybe we have our developmental 3rd linebacker. Also, to kind of wrap up this draft with some late picks, we're going to take a long snapper. We need a long snapper. 41st in true talent is actually pretty solid. I mean, that's the draft class as a whole, though. And I think pretty solid. We got our quarterback, we got a solid running back, the cornerback and guard, 5th and 6th round, really hit, got ourselves a long snapper as well. Like, I think this is a pretty high floor draft class for us to get some starters in there. Also, the top 2 guys, both USC run support strong safeties. I have heard that that's kind of a thing in this game where if you see a run support safety from USC, they're just a god. Somehow they had 2 of them. But how about we go to undrafted free agency and the really pleasant surprise here. So we got a kicker. We needed a kicker. But how about this absolutely insane thing? We see Russell Barber sitting here, a 21-year-old, 70 overall, 97 speed, 98 excel wide receiver with superstar dev. That is absurd. And I mean, this is exactly what we need, which is crazy. Like, I literally was talking about the complementary skill sets. We got the possession guy in Coker. We hope that we can find, like, maybe a bigger body guy, but we need a deep threat. I said I wasn't big on Arian Smith, and I wasn't going to go after anybody, you know, like, unless we found somebody worth taking that shot on, I was just going to have to give the job to Arian Smith, but we don't got to do that anymore. And the 3 players that we're obviously going to use our, you know, training camps on, we're going to go Stevens, we're going to go Harris, and how about Barber at wide receiver, giving him a little bit of a run there, because I think we might have found ourselves something special. Geno Smith also gets dealt to the Rams, which is really interesting. But at wide receiver, some other things were moving right there, as Washington actually cut Malachi Corley, so good on them. They're probably going to cut Allegretti anyway. He was a backup, so they got a 6th-round pick out of it. But the thing that really stuck out to me, Broncos have a pretty deep D-line, and I guess that meant that they were no longer in need of Jonah Ellis. I'm a big Jonah Ellis fan. Like, I really loved him coming out of Utah. I was huge on him. And when he pops up here in free agency, I'm not going to be able to resist. I know he signed Kyle Van Noy to be a backup, but I think Jonah Ellis can maybe be a bit of a maybe long-term edge rush 3 guy for us. So at quarterback, no surprise, I think, you know, you just start the rookie. Quentin Harris is going to be the guy day 1. Justin Fields are probably going to move him unless it's a disaster. At wide receiver, well, Sky Moore doesn't need to be the starter at number 3 receiver anymore. Just start the young guy, Barber. Let him go out there and do his thing. Obviously, Mason Taylor going to be the starter, even though Parkinson's 1 overall higher. At guard, I mean, Bowden is literally the same overall as Penning and Allegretti, so I feel like just start the young guy again. I mean, they're all going to compete, and, you know, like, if one guy's playing poorly, we'll make the swap. We have good depth now, but just, you know, let the young guy develop at the edge rusher spot. I think we're looking really good now because Kyle Van Noy and Jonah Ellis are backups. Still got Harrison Phillips as our number 2 D tackle. KJ Britt's going to be playing as our 3rd linebacker, with Jamie and Sherwood and Quincy Williams being the main 2. And at corner, it's still a bit of a log jam here. I don't want Brandon Stevens out there. He's going to be somebody that we move on from the first chance we get. He's overpaid, but Igbenogany, Lindsey, Azariah Thomas, we'll see. Malachi Moore is going to be a bit of a rough point for this team potentially, but I did bring in Quandre Diggs as a bit of an insurance policy. And to start the season, Bowden immediately gets hurt, tears his labrum. So, yeah, Allegretti and Penning can immediately hop in and play. So, like I said, we got depth. That's a good thing. But we get started with the season, and I'm going to be just kind of going through and showing you the results, showing you how things go. And Jalen Coker, how about that? Him and Garrett Wilson tag team up for a 100-yard performance each. We go and beat the Chiefs as well. And how about the start to the season? Chiefs, Bills, Dolphins, 3-0. Vera Tucker, McDonald, Harrison Phillips, all banged up, but it's okay. We're 3-0 right now. And for our superstar wide receiver, Russell Barber, him being an undrafted guy means we have to negotiate a contract with him off the bat. But the positive is we can get him a little bit cheaper if he develops. Joe Tippmann, definitely going to keep him around as our long-term center. We do finally take a loss to the Bills because it would have been pretty unlikely to sweep them. But I think this team is looking pretty interesting right now, especially when Jalen Coker has a 100-yard, 2-touchdown performance, and he is looking incredible right now. And I think the offense, I mean, we ran into the Broncos defense, so I'm not going to really be too harsh on them. But, you know, a lot of sacks for our defense. And, you know, aside from facing Denver and one of the elite defenses in the league, it's been not too bad. Now, we do immediately go on a 3-game losing streak. But for this team, the hope is that they can go out here and, you know, go and win maybe 7, 8, 9 games like we did last year. Jonah Ellis has been pretty impressive since he's been playing, and Justin Fields gets dealt. The Saints don't have a quarterback still. I mean, they have Tyler Shuck, but he keeps getting banged up and he hasn't been great. Also, respect to Sky Moore catching a 74-yard touchdown in a loss against a Malik Willis-led Steelers team. Don't know what that was all about, but we get back on track with the win over the Raiders and one of the other rookie quarterbacks, Reggie Alexander. Really interesting that the Raiders traded Geno Smith to just go ahead and start the rookie quarterback, just like we did. And Quentin Harris puts on a career performance, 346 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 3 of them to Jalen Coker, who has another 100 yards. Garrett Wilson also goes for 160 and 2 touchdowns, but Jalen Coker is already proving to be an incredible signing. I know Jalen Coker's got a fan base. I am a fan of Coker, and I'm hoping he goes crazy this year. Jermaine Johnson, we signed to an extension, and we go and beat the Chicago Bears 24-19 behind another 100 yards from Coker, and Barber getting his first career 100-yard game, Will McDonald getting 4 sacks, and Jonah Ellis was really impressing me as a third edge rusher. I go and sign him to about an $8 to $9 million extension to be a number 3, and we get closer to the end of the season. We lose our third to last game, but then with 2 games left on the season, we're 9-6 on the year. We beat the Dolphins 24-7, meaning we're 10-6. We're going to the playoffs, win or lose this final game against, I believe, the Patriots, but we're going to lose to the Patriots, but we go 10-7, and we're taking on the Cincinnati Bengals in the playoffs. So we won 8 games last year, 10 this year. Quentin Harris, you see the 7 upgrade points. You know what that means. Rookie of the year for Quentin Harris at quarterback, and I think we have proved to be a little bit more valid in that decision, rolling with Quentin Harris, moving on from Justin Fields, and we are headed to playoff action against the Cincinnati Bengals. Can we go and get ourselves our first playoff win as the Bengals? Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, obviously we know what we're running into here, but so far for our offense, it's been pretty nice. 21-13 to start the second half as Russell Barber takes the kickoff, and he's going to get a little bit of a lane. Barber past midfield in the first play. We get to see Barber takes the kickoff to start the second half, back for a nice gain, and now handoff right up the middle. Stevens is going to get a first down. Zach Stevens on the 28-yard line, and now a handoff. Here goes Braylon Allen, and getting a healthier rotation of these 2 guys. 3rd down and 6. Harris outside. He's going to find his man. That's going to be a broken tackle. Look at Sky Moore getting the first down, as now Harris handing it off. Allen breaks out of a tackle, hit by Logan Wilson, and gets a gain of 7. 2nd down and 4 from the 10, as they're going to go with a handoff. Stevens is going to lose yards, and he's going to back us up. 3rd and 9. Harris over the middle. It's caught. Touchdown. It's Sky Moore for the score, and I don't think you would have been able to guess that the first touchdown that we score in the playoffs of this video is going to be from Sky Moore, but if you had your bets on that one, it is going to be a big winning for you, as 2nd down and 12 hits, and over the middle, that's going to be broken up, and a 3rd and 12 for Burrow. He throws to the outside, gets by Sauce Gardner and T. Higgins for the first down, and the 45-yard line. Burrow is going to look, throw, and that's going to be a grab for Mike Gesicki. New set of downs as Burrow will go play action and fire over the middle. That's going to be completed for 7. 2nd down and 3. Running back's not going to get there, and he'll lose 3. 3rd and 6 for Burrow. The X Factor might be activated, but the defense is able to get him shy of a yard for the first down. 4th and 1. Hit as he's throwing, but he gets it out for the first, and Burrow keeps the drive alive. Swing it outside. He is Madden. He loses 3. 3rd and long for Burrow, and he'll let it fly for the end zone. Burrow gets it completed, but it's out of bounds, and they're going to have to settle for the field goal. He got by 2 defenders, but couldn't put his feet in, and they couldn't hit the field goal either. Everything going wrong for Cincinnati, and Braylon Allen sheds a tackle as we're close to midfield. 2nd down turns to 3rd down. Harris finds his man. That's Barber, and he's got a first down. Barber had the good kick return to start that half, and he gets a first down to take us back in Bengal territory. Let's swing it outside, and there's Mason Taylor shedding off a tackle, but stepping out of bounds for a loss of 3. 3rd and long. Harris lets it fly. Garrett Wilson one-on-one. Garrett Wilson to the 7. That's what we want to see from our superstar right out in the playoffs, getting a big-time play, trying to go up by 3 scores. Allen down to the 1, and for the score, for the 3-score lead. Allen not gonna get there. He's losing 3. 3rd and goal. 3rd quarter winding down. Flip it outside. Braylon Allen takes it in. Touchdown, New York. And the Jets are coming out here against the division-winning Bengals and putting on a show on offense, as Burrow can't do much about it. And he's in a spot where, once again, his defense has allowed 35 points in the first 3 quarters. Jamie Sherwood, what a hit! And the Bengals, he's quiet in the crowd. And Jamie Sherwood, I think, has really hyped up this defense, who's played a really good game. if you hold Burrow and the Bengals to just 13 points so far, I mean, it's likely that they're going to put some points up on the board on this drive as they're in the red zone, but still, to put them down here in this spot where they need to go and score 3 touchdowns and more to win this game, as Chase Brown finds himself at the 3-yard line, but Burrow in the shotgun, goal to go, 9.5 to play, Burrow to the end zone, touchdown Mike Gesicki. But the Bengals still down by a lot, and they're going to go for 2 right now. I think that makes sense. Cut it down to a 2-score, 14-point lead, and that's going to be good. If they would have missed that one, though, it would have been probably game over, as it would have stayed a 3-score game. But now the offense takes over, and Harris get to work, and there goes Barber. He's got the speed. He's falling forward to a 3rd and inches. Sneak it. Harris has the first down, and we can continue running out this clock, and if you put up a field goal, right, maybe back to that game over territory, because he'd be a 3-score lead. 3rd down and 5 though for Harris. He's gonna roll, and he'll just throw out of bounds, play it safe. Don't do anything stupid. Trust the defense. Burrow still got a lot to do to make this comeback, as Chase Brown out of the backfield gets 7. And Burrow on 2nd down and 3. Coming across the field is Gesicki, who breaks a tackle. Make it 2, make it 3. Mike Gesicki, step 4, and another. Oh my goodness, Mike Gesicki. The only thing stopping him was the sidelines. Wow, that was incredible. But still, you're down by 14, and you got a nice gain here from Burrow. Sacked by Quinnen Williams. 4th and 18, and the game on the line probably. And it's not going to be any better for the Bengals. Full start on 4th and 18. As if you couldn't be backed up anymore. 4th and 23. Burrow stepping up. He finds Jamar Chase. And Chase is short. If you didn't get the full start, it would have been enough. But that put them too far back. And now Quentin Harris. He finds Jalen Coker for the 1st down. And into field goal range. Harris on the keeper read option. Harris makes a man miss. And Harris embarrassed Cam Taylor-Britt a little bit from the 11 now. Bubble screen. Jalen Coker walks it in. Touchdown. And Jalen Coker puts it into this one. A 3-touchdown lead late in the 4th quarter and a 42-21 victory. The Jets have won a playoff game, and we're moving on to the 2nd round behind our rookie quarterback and a bit of a retooled offense that could be really exciting. Quentin Harris has a great game in his playoff debut, and even though the rushing attack was, once again below 4 yards a carry across the board, Jalen Coker had a big day, put it in the end zone, on the ground, in the air, and we are so happy with Jalen Coker being a signing, Barber being a draft pick, and some of these acquisitions on defense elevating us a little bit, and then leaning on our stars, Quinnen Williams, to get 2 sacks. And I am so excited for what this team is going to be doing now, going on the road in the snow against the Buffalo Bills. Can they defeat their division rival and perennial Super Bowl contending Josh Allen and the Bills? You play them twice in the regular season, but it's a whole different world when you get on the road in Buffalo in a snowy playoff game. The Bills come into this game, though, extremely unlucky. James Cook, Keon Coleman, TJ Sanders, Ray Davis, Dante Fowler, everybody's hurt for this Bills team, so they're looking really thin. And as we come out in the 2nd half, it's 17-14. Harris taking a shot deep and knocked away. They're trying to get it to Garrett Wilson. 2nd down and 10. As they're going to go read option. Harris is going to slide for a short gain. 3rd and 7. It's long distance field goal range, and the snow probably hurts them as he's going to float another run. Can't bring it in. Wilson has it slip through, and they're going to have to punt the football away. Allen, with this really thin offense, is running around, running for his life. He's missing Keon Coleman and his top 2 running backs. So what do you do here with this already weak group of weapons? They go 3 and out as now the Jets take over. Harris on the read option. He gets a lead. Quentin Harris, he's got a big run. And Harris goes for 28 as now a little pop pass. Look at Jalen Coker get 8 yards and another injury happens, and the Bills are just getting brutalized right now as that pass incomplete. It's going to be 4th and 2, and the Jets are going for it, and Zach Stevens has it. Maybe a 48-yard and 49-yard field goal around that area is still a little too far in the snow. Losing 6 on the ground here, 3rd and 16 from the 33. Pass is going to be caught by Garrett Wilson. It's a positive gain, close enough to where they're comfortable kicking, as the field goal is good. And the Jets take a 6-point lead. Allen in the play action. He's going to take the shot down the field. Allen in triple coverage. It's intercepted. And the Jets taking it back the other way. He's got a nice return, shedding a tackle. And look at that. That was Noah Igbenogany, I'm pretty sure, taking that interception. And now across the middle, Mason Taylor on the doorstep of a 2-touchdown lead. Hand off to Stevens. He slips, loses a yard. 3rd down and goal. Harris, quick pass. Mason Taylor, touchdown. And the Jets are up by 2 scores on Josh Allen. And I think he's got to be frustrated if you're looking at all the injuries that he has. Who does he have to get the football to? Allen to the air. He's going to throw one up top. It's going to be incomplete. Khalil Shakir, his only good target, is not able to bring that in. And the Bills go 3 and out once more. We're approaching the end of this 3rd quarter. And Harris has another great completion. That's to Colby Parkinson. That's to the 42-yard line. Harris got to get rid of it, but he goes down and loses 14. 3rd and long, so gonna have to just try to see what you can get here. And he almost got the first. Coker got almost 20 on the play. And now the Allen offense is going to take over. Great completion. 4th quarter underway as they're going to throw that pass for a gain of 7. 3rd down and 3. Allen going to try to scramble for it. Allen keeping it himself. And he's got the first, but what a shot. Jamie and Sherwood. What a hit. Sherwood is an enforcer for this defense the last couple of games. As 3rd and 11. Allen, he's going to try to run. No, he can't go anywhere. Pocket collapsed and he threw it away. They punt, and Allen in the offense is looking awful today. Everything going wrong for this team. Snowy conditions, good defense for the Jets, and the weather is just not helping the already lacking group of weapons for this Allen offense. As there goes Stevens inside the 30, down to the 22, and the Jets, will they take a 3-score lead on the Bills? Add to the edge, and Stevens has 14. Goal to go as Harris is going to try to scramble. Got to get down as he does stiff arm and go out of bounds. I want to keep Harris safe. Got to keep him upright. 3rd down and goal. Quick screen. Harris to the edge. Not able to get anywhere. And the offense will just settle for a field goal, but we're comfortable with that. A 16-point lead, and Josh Allen's got 5.5 minutes to go to pull something crazy off, and it's already 4th down. Things are slipping away from Allen. Passes caught, but the 4th down conversion's going to keep this thing going a little bit longer. Allen in motion for a man is going to sweep it to the edge, and in the backfield is losing 9 yards on a run. 3rd and 19. Allen outside it short, and he's going to get 2. As now 4th and 17. Throwing it deep. Allen, it's incomplete. And the Jets take over, and the Jets got Barber, and the Jets are in goal to go. I think they're going to the AFC Championship. They get sacked, but who cares? Kick the field goal with under 2 minutes to play. A 3-score lead, and the New York Jets in year 2 are going to the AFC Championship. They caught a big break facing an injured Bills team, but we take it regardless. Allen did not have a great day. 2 interceptions, but there wasn't much you could do. Their running back was a 3rd-string rookie who had 5 rushing yards all day. That's just unfortunate. Your receivers were Shakir, Kincaid, Josh Palmer, but you really could have used Keon. You really could have used James Cook. You really could have used some of your defensive players. Unfortunately, not going to happen, but we are going to the championship game against the Chargers, who took out the Chiefs. So it is Justin Herbert and the Chargers hosting the AFC Championship. Can Harbaugh and the Herbert-led Chargers take themselves to a Super Bowl, or will it be the rookie quarterback trying to do what Jaden Daniels couldn't, take his underdog team to a Super Bowl in the Conference Championship? It's 17-7 in favor of the Chargers as Herbert with the football, taking the shot down the field. 2 men down there, intercepted, and the Jets to Moore. Hamlin with the interception, and the Hamlin-led celebration will maybe get the Jets back into this one with a 1-score deficit to be had if they can put points up on the board on this drive. 2nd down and 5, over the middle. There's Coker, and Jalen Coker for 15 as now play action. Harris is going to step up. No, he's going to run it, and Harris, he's got room, and there goes Harris, 1st down to the 4, goal to go, and can they put it in the end zone? Harris running, throwing, perfect ball, Coker, touchdown! Jalen Coker has it in the end zone. Oh, what a year for Jalen Coker, as now the kickoff back deep in a 3-point deficit for the Jets, as a great start to the half, and they are going to find a lane to the outside, and a big hit, and it keeps on going for the Jets. They pick up the fumble, and suddenly we can turn this thing around. Harris, 2nd and 12, he's going to throw to the outside, no, intercepted. And the Chargers halted us in our tracks, and they needed to do that because we were coming back, but look at Sauce Gardner, interception, and right back at you. Sauce Gardner takes the football, and we are right back in business, and the defense is coming up big. How about 3 turnovers in the first 5 minutes as he's throwing it deep? It's going to be incomplete, trying to put it up for Coker. 3rd and 6, Harris is going to throw to the outside, and Mason Taylor for the 1st down. We are in field goal range, but we want that touchdown. Throw it to the outside, and Stevens breaks a tackle, and Stevens has 6, and it'll be in the red zone now for 3rd and 2. Hand off to Stevens. He's got the 1st down. He's got more. He's got a goal to go from the 9 as they go to the ground again. Stevens inside the 5, down to the 3, and Harris spreading the field, and zone incomplete. Tried to get it to Garrett Wilson, and that'll just result in us settling for a field goal. But we tie this game up, and it's been all Jets in this 3rd quarter, as now Herbert of the offense got to just settle things down as they find the receiver to the outside, and look at him go all the way to the 24-yard line, and there comes the Chargers. Play action, and he's going to go to the end zone. Sauce Gardner knocks it away. 3rd and 9, Sauce coming up big, and he wants to go to a Super Bowl. Herbert in the air, 3rd and 9, underneath, it's caught, and he turns it upfield for the 1st down. And now to the 11-yard line, Herbert is going to go for another completion. That's Quentin Johnson to the 4, as they're going to sneak it, not get it, 4th and inches. They're going for it. Herbert, he missed it. Well, with Justin Herbert, if he made that pass, it would have been a Charger lead, but he didn't. And now the Jets got the ball back, but an interception. Quinn threw it right back to the defense. Both quarterbacks having some turnovers, as now back to goal to go. Starting the 4th quarter, Herbert in the face of pressure, he's sacked. Jermaine Johnson and crew got in there. 2nd and goal from the 12. Herbert, screen set up. Here's Amari and Hampton. He's got the lane. Hampton down to the 1. Gardner met him. 3rd and goal, and he sneaks it in. This time Herbert has it. Touchdown Chargers, and they're back on top with the Super Bowl on the line here in the 4th quarter. We got ourselves a 1-score game, and can our rookie quarterback do something here? He's not faced any sort of pressure like this. I mean, this dude came from, Wake Forest? I don't think he knows what playing in a championship is like, and he gets sacked, as now the Chargers take over, and Amari and Hampton can get to work with a lead. 3rd down and 2 from the 38. Herbert to the air. He's going to take a shot down the field. He's got it. Quentin Johnston. Touchdown! Chargers! Quentin Johnston! I don't know if you ever want to get potentially daggered by Quentin Johnson, but we are now down by 2 scores with under 9 to play. Barber on the kick return. He's got a good lane up the middle, and Barber gets us to the 40, so another solid return from Barber. And now we got 60 yards of field in front of us. Garrett Wilson breaks a tackle! Garrett Wilson! That's what we needed. Now we're ready to the 22-yard line as Harris finds his man Barber to the outside. We got goal goal to go. And this offense moving it quickly. Harris, he's gonna do it himself. Harris, he's got the touchdown. Quinn Harris on the draw. Takes it in, and it's 31-24. We're not done yet. 7 minutes to play, and Amari and Hampton on the ground gets a nice gain. Herbert back to the air. 1st and 10. Got a completion. Breaks off a tackle. Gets the first down. No, not quite. They say 2nd in inches. I thought he had it. And now there goes Hampton. He does have it pretty clearly into Jet territory as Herbert will find Quentin Johnston. He'll get 3. 3rd down and 8. Long distance field goal range. They throw it underneath. Got to come up and make the tackle. He missed 1, but we get him down. It's still a gain of 6, though, and I think that's just enough. Field goal try from 51 is good. And we're back down by 2 scores, so now we're going to need a lot to happen if we're going to make a comeback in this one once more. Harris going to keep it. Quentin is going to cut inside, and Quentin Harris for a gain of 12 into Charger territory. 3 minutes to play. Harris underneath. There goes Barber. He's got 9, and now 3rd down and 2. Keeper for Harris. Drilled to the ground. 3-yard loss. 4th and 5. Harris, and he's brought down. And the Chargers might be going to the Super Bowl. Herbert over the middle, completed for the 1st down. And without any timeouts, without any more opportunities, the Chargers are going to the Super Bowl. And I will say, though, what an effort from this Jets team. Quentin Harris had a rough day, 3 interceptions, but against a really tough, well-coached Chargers team in the conference championship. I mean, I can't really complain with the resulting of this season. I don't know if the outlook for this team with the moves that we made was sitting here saying on the doorstep of a Super Bowl, but we got that far, and I mean, I'm really impressed with this team. I'm really impressed with Quentin Harris as a rookie. 28 touchdowns, 12 picks. I mean, he basically had an identical year to what Justin Fields did last year, but like I really felt like kind of settled in. You know, if the floor of Quentin Harris is Justin Fields, like that's kind of why we make that move. If his floor is what Justin Fields was maybe at his best, you can imagine what his ceiling is going to be. Garrett Wilson goes for 1,000 yards, but look at Jalen Coker. Almost 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, put up some big time plays in the playoffs. Russell Barber as our number 3 got 500 yards. We got some really good pickups, and I think value pickups too. Our receiving core is looking really exciting now. And you go over the defense. Quincy Williams had a nice performance. I mean, how about, Doug Bowden, though? Struggled a little bit, but, if he's our weakest link on the offensive line, we kind of expected that for a rookie. But Quincy Williams had an awesome season. Jamie and Sherwood had an awesome season. I mean, if your linebackers can go and get that kind of sack production, Jermaine Johnson gets 14. Quinton Williams gets 9. McDonald with 7. Jonah Ellis off the bench got 5 sacks. Really love that. Like, that's really good stuff. I mean, played basically like maybe a little over half the snaps and got 5 sacks. That's really good. I mean, that puts him on pace to say if he played all 1,100 sacks, maybe he would have gotten double-digit sacks. Sauce Gardner, 6 interceptions. The issue is no one else really caught any picks. But Sauce Gardner, back to the Pro Bowl for him. Russell Barber, how about take him to the Pro Bowl where he is going to be the only guy in the entire NFL that got a kick return touchdown this season. We got the Chargers, though, winning the Super Bowl with a pretty interesting Super Bowl MVP. How about Tarheeb Still? We head to the offseason. Kyle Van Noy retires. We expected that. We only signed him to a 1-year deal. We're actually going to decline the 5th-year option on Olu because I want to get a full-time, 4 or 5-year deal with Olu done ASAP. I don't want to, $20 million a year is probably what he's going to get anyway, so no point in really prolonging that. Let's just pay him now, worry about it later. Just cut Brandon Stevens as well. That was a big time cut. It was a bad contract that the Jets gave out in real life. And Stevens is going to save us $12 million. Kyle Hamilton sitting here in free agency. Now in real life, before this video was recorded, Kyle Hamilton signed a $100 million extension. Not in this game, though. He's sitting here in free agency. Receivers, how about Jamison Williams, Rashee Rice, Zay Flowers? A couple of nice skill sets for us. Don't think we're going to be interested, though. I like the receiving core, and I like the value we have that receiving core at. Harrison Phillips, we let walk, and I am looking for a defensive tackle to replace Harrison Phillips and a nice little co-star for Quinnen Williams. Suddenly, we've opened up a Super Bowl window, and you know what that means. A Super Bowl window with a rookie quarterback? I think you know what that means. It's time to get to spending. And Kyle Hamilton, I will say, people would have said try it at least. He's not interested in coming here. I offered him more than what he asked for. We're not even in his top 5, so we're not going to get Kyle Hamilton, but that's okay. I will put the offer out there on DJ Reader, though, to put him next to Quinnen Williams. And how about Dorian Williams from the Bills? I really think that's a nice little signing at linebacker. I was also interested in Riley Moss to be maybe our number 2 outside corner. I think we're really desperate for a number 2 corner. I like Igbenogany, but he's more so a number 3 right now. I don't know if I really feel comfortable with him as our number 2. But if we can go and pick up these guys on defense, that'd be huge. Riley Moss still considering, but we get DJ Reader, we get Ronnie Hickman to be some safety depth for us and maybe compete at the strong safety spot if we want to move him over. But we're happy with that. Riley Moss, though, it doesn't look like we're going to be in line to get him because he's just not interested. We're going to have to offer him a lot. I'm trying, but, you know, you can see right there, I got the best offer on Moss, but at 27 years old, 3-year deal, I think that makes sense. If we can't get him, which it looks like he's still debating, now the Texans are up there, I can't really reasonably offer him much more. He doesn't sign. So we get Dorian Williams, but we do not get Riley Moss, meaning number 2 corner still a pretty big need for us. And I know I'm saying that, and I'm actively trading away a corner, but the Packers need cornerback help, and I am not really in the line to believe right now that Azariah Thomas is someone that we should be really building around. Azariah Thomas can go to the Green Bay Packers and figure out things over there, but we spent a 3rd-round pick on him in real life, and we ended up trading him for a 4th, so I mean, the draft class that the Jets put forth in real life, I really like Mason Taylor, I really like Membu, but I wasn't a fan of Azariah Thomas's ability to play outside corner, 86 speed, he has questionable long speed, but we get to the NFL draft, we have the 30th pick, and staying on the topic of secondary, because I think that's where we got to address things, I think we found a guy that we can really be excited about. How about 5'9", 23-year-old safety out of Cal, Jimmy Holmes. Pretty good athleticism across the board, round 1 talent, and even though safety, you know, you don't typically take safeties that aren't special in the 1st round, I think a position of need, a talented player, a player that we really could use on this back end because I want to just keep helping out this pass defense, keep giving Sauce Gardner more guys around him. Ever since this team now has lost DJ Reed, we're going to be looking for that solution in the secondary to find that co-star, whether it is at safety or corner. No DJ Reed, we haven't found him yet, but Jimmy Holmes can maybe be a star safety for us. 18th in true talent, so good value there. Hidden dev, 91 speed, and I think he's got some ability to play maybe strong safety or free safety. Now we get to the 2nd round, and here's kind of the issue here. The only guys on the board that are kind of value are more safeties, and I don't think we need more safeties. So I am actually looking to trade this late 2nd round pick, and I know this is going to be an overpay. I know this is a little too much to give up for him, but we're in a Super Bowl window, and we need another cornerback. So how about a 30-year-old expiring contract as well? I think this makes sense because the Buccaneers have Ben Morrison, Zion McCollum, Jacob Parrish, so they're going to get younger. We're going to trade a 2nd round pick, a late 2nd, a 5th, and a 7th for Jamel Dean, and bring him in to be our number 2 corner. If we can bring him in on a longer-term contract afterwards and maybe get him in for, you know, instead of a 1-year rental, make him a 2 or 3-year player, that'd be nice. But how about now going back to the draft in the 3rd round, and I think we found ourselves somebody that we could really get excited about here. How about a nose tackle? Quincy Richards, day 3 projection, elite strength though, nice athleticism, and Quincy Richards being the draft pick here at the 94th overall selection, I think that we got ourselves one heck of a player because, I mean, the draft room celebrating, the war room celebrating, and suddenly I am questioning if signing DJ Reader was the right idea because sometimes you get something that falls right into your lap. An A-plus pick, 11th in true talent, and hidden dev, 94 strength. I mean, we signed DJ Reader. We might have just drafted DJ Reader. So, I mean, if it was a 1-year contract for DJ Reader, then it'd be feeling a little bit differently, but now we got DJ Reader for 2 years, and this guy, Quincy Richards, who looks like he could be a star for us. Now also, 4th round, how about look for a backup quarterback? Don't want to invest too much money in the backup position, so let's just go and get a guy that we can maybe develop behind Quincy Richards as an emergency piece. And well, how about a hidden dev quarterback at backup? He's 5'10", he's not nearly as athletic or physically talented with his arm strength, but he's a backup quarterback, and I don't know if we're really going to get much out of him. I mean, unless he has like crazy development, but we don't anticipate that being the case. But when you're putting everything together with the overall draft haul that we're getting, we are also going to be able to find in the 5th round, look at this little solid corner. He's projected undrafted, but he has round 2 to 3 talent, strongest, best vertical, best broad, really nice player. So Sutton is a 77th in true talent with normal dev. Probably will just kind of be like a number 4 corner. But like I said, the overall draft haul that we got was what we presume to be a starting safety, I guess a starting future defensive tackle, a backup quarterback, a couple other pieces, and Jamel Dean. So I think, you know, trading a late second for Jamel Dean, who is 30, and a late rental piece maybe for us, like in the late stages of his career on an expiring deal, I don't know, maybe that's a little too much, but also big trade here. How about Kobe Turner getting traded along with a 3rd round pick for Tua? I don't know what's going on over there for the Rams, because the Rams traded for Geno Smith and they've traded for Tua. I guess Geno retired, now they're going for Tua. I don't know what's going on over there, but cool. Why not? So yeah, we're also going to bring in some smaller pieces, Jonnu Smith being the main one, because we need another backup tight end. So I think, you know, even though the Jamel Dean trade was a little bit of a high price, I think it'll be worth it. And, you know, like I said, we are in that championship window with a quarterback on a rookie contract. This is how you do it. You go and you get pieces and you try to compete. We made the AFC Championship last year. The expectation is we can do it again. And this team is better. The team is more developed, and we've added a few pieces to make it better. I mean, we don't have any superstars, though, like that we've brought in. I think that's kind of the thing that I've enjoyed so far in making this realistic. We haven't brought in any superstars. We haven't traded for any megastar players. We haven't made any blockbuster trades. I mean, the biggest trade we've made is Jamel Dean, and we traded away Breece Hall, but everything else, I mean, signed DeMar Hamlin, signed, you know, Dorian Williams, signed Jalen Coker, a couple other players. Like, there will be trades to be made, especially if we're not able to get over the hump and get to that goal of making the Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl. But for now, we're just going to ride things out and see how this team continues to develop. We had a high-scoring, fun game against Jaden Daniels in Washington that didn't go our way, but also we're saving up some of our money because we have a guy like this. Quinnen Williams is going to re-sign on a 2-year contract, but we needed to do something like that. Quinnen Williams is going to command $30+ million a year and be one of the more high-paid defensive players in the league. Garrett Wilson also puts up a monster season, but I also said I wanted to prioritize getting Olufoshanu on a big contract, so you know, that was part of the reason why I did that. He gets paid $18 million and $19 million the next 2 years. The 5th-year extension or the 5th-year option was $19 million. So I just thought, why not get the job done now, pay him now, and maybe it'll be a little cheaper this year than it would have been next year. Quinnen Williams suffers a broken thumb, small injury. He'll be out for a few games, but overall, we're doing pretty solid right now. How about a win over the Jaguars as well? Just kind of showing you the results of the games, and also, you know, if anything, like any big performances happen. Noah Igbenogany I really like, so I'm going to keep him around and on a pretty cheap contract, about like $5 million. And then with the remaining money that we have, which it's not a lot, we're going to sign Will McDonald. I think that makes sense. And then we go over to Jamie Sherwood, who has been awesome for this team, and I really want to keep Sherwood. It's pretty expensive, 17 to 18 million for Sherwood, for a linebacker who isn't maybe like a Fred Warner type, but I mean, I think for, you know, like a tier 2 linebacker that he has turned into, I think that's a fine enough contract, and he's been a real tone setter for us. And hey, first game we come out and he goes and catches an interception for us. So I was looking to make another trade at the deadline, and this is where you want to really go for it. And I mean, the opportunity presented itself with a very odd situation here in Arizona. Kyle Hamilton signed with the Cardinals. At 26 years old, Kyle Hamilton's making big time money. That kind of makes it an odd spot for Budda Baker, who is now behind Kyle Hamilton, and we're going to go and grab Budda Baker for a 3rd round draft pick. And I think that one makes sense. Budda Baker's 31 years old on an expiring contract as well, so it's another thing, expiring deal. But he's 31 years old, so he's regressing, and clearly the Cardinals are moving on. They are going to have Kyle Hamilton. Budda Baker was playing with Kyle Hamilton, but it wasn't in the same role and it wasn't as much. So we're going to bring Budda Baker over to fill in our weakest position, which was where Malachi Moore was starting at safety. Malachi's cool, but probably more suited as a backup at this point. And as we move on towards the end of the season, a big win over here against the Dolphins, 35-30, where Harris throws for 350 and 4 touchdowns. Jalen Coker, 130. Garrett Wilson, 120, both with 2 touchdowns. And we go 1-2 to close the season. So not a amazing, strong close to the year, but an overtime victory gets us to 9-8 on the season. So one game worse, but we did have the number 1 pass defense in the league, which that's kind of been the goal here. I mean, I was talking about getting those pieces around Sauce. We got our rookie safety. We got Budda Baker, Sauce Gardner, Jamel Dean, and Noah Igbenogany. I think you put that together in a secondary. Those are all skills that make sense together, and I really feel like Budda maybe pushed us over the edge a little bit to get us to that number 1 ranking and to get us into the playoffs. A little disappointed with the offense this year, but when you have an elite aspect of your team, that being our pass defense, and you have the star power, you have Quinnen Williams, you have Garrett Wilson, you have this rookie quarterback that really played well once we got to the playoffs. And I know the conference championship wasn't amazing, but now he's got that playoff experience under his belt and on his resume. Let's see if we can go out there and go on a little bit of a run this year. 9-8 is the record, but you throw the records out there. Once you get to the playoffs, you throw those in the trash. Everyone is 0-0, and against Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans, they're 12-5, but they're getting sacked. Quinnen Williams gets in there, and there you go. You turn to your stars, and there he is. 3rd down and 18 for Ward. He's going to throw one up top, and he's got it! Completion ripped away, and that was the rookie safety breaking that one up as there goes Quinn Harris, and that's going to be to Garrett Wilson. Harris, he's seen also superstar Dev, if you didn't catch that. He's taken that step up, and we have ourselves our franchise quarterback as he's getting chased, and that's going to be Jeffrey Simmons and company getting him down. But back to the Titans they go on the offensive side of the football. He put somebody on the dirt. Budda Baker actually got juked out there by Tajay Spears, and they get the first down. Ward is going to try to scramble, but he can't go anywhere. Will McDonald with the sack. 2nd and 21. Outside. Got the speed. Got the edge. Got the first down. Good job from the Titans offense to get out of that hole, but can they get out of this one? 3rd down and 10. That's a sack for Quincy Williams on the blitz. I love this front 7 and what we have built. You got Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, DJ Reader, Quincy Williams, Quinnen Williams, and Jamian Sherwood. Any one of those guys can disrupt that offense, and on top of that, getting the number 1 pass defense with Sauce Gardner, Budda Baker, and all those other guys. It's a truly elite defense. We just need the offense to pick up because now they once again punt the football away. They haven't been able to move it. We just know that the offense is going to come along eventually. We just need it to click, and it needs to click soon. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but the Titans, they're going to get stopped, and the defense once again comes up big. Come on, offense. Stevens, that's an open lane, and Zach Stevens is going to get a big run. The run game's been the most disappointing part. It hasn't been good for us this season, hasn't been good last season. It just hasn't been there. It's been just consistent under 4 yards a carry. We need to figure that out as Mason Taylor gets us inside the 10-yard line, and we're looking for that tie. We're going to go on the ground. Here goes Stevens. He's got the touchdown, and the run game looked good on that drive. So I mean, you get a good defense, you want to pair it with being able to run the football. It's Quincy Williams at the tackle for loss. I love this defense. 2nd and 14. Ward, down he goes. Quinton Williams has his 3rd down and long. 4th quarter underway, and Cam Ward throwing it deep. It's intercepted. Jamel Dean taking it the other way. He's got a nice return past midfield, and Jamel Dean gives the Jets the football in a tie game in enemy territory, and the defense gets to celebrate this one. And we got to know, send the offense out there. Can we run it like we did last drive? As Stevens to the edge, he's got the first down. And now at the 34-yard line, 10 minutes to play. Harris over the middle. There's Garrett Wilson, and Garrett gets 6. He gets a little shaken up on the play. Hopefully we can deal without him for a little bit as Harris now to the air on 3rd down. As Stevens, he gets the first, turns upfield, and doesn't get out of bounds. That's huge to be able to get that as the play action actually fooled them. That was huge, and that was a amazing play fake to actually get them there because that would have been a sack. and we get the first down because of it. From the 11, we toss it outside. Stevens gets the block from Ricard, makes a man miss, and gets to the 6-yard line. As now 2nd down, Harris is gonna roll, he's gonna run it, he's got it, touchdown, Jets! Quinnen gives us the lead, and now we turn to our defense. Can they get the job done? What a hit from Budda Baker. We set up 3rd down and 11 for the Titans as Ward finds an open man. That's going to be a first down, as it's one of the players actually that we were thinking of drafting. Alec Parker at wide receiver was one of the guys in year 1 that we were kind of looking at with our draft pick. We end up trading down, taking our quarterback. I think we're happy with that, but the Titans got themselves a guy. There goes him again. Parker, 1st down and goal from the 5. As now they got it to goal to go. And Ward, he's getting sacked. And that's Dorian Williams, 3rd down and goal from the 15. It's a sack again. He puts it on the ground. And Jermaine Johnson, he's got it. Scooping, scoring. He's outrunning everybody. Touchdown, Jets. And we turn it around from what looked to be a tie game to a 2-score lead. Jermaine Johnson gives us the 14-point advantage, and the underdog Jets might have been able to do it again if they hold on for 3 more minutes. They set up the screen, and he's going down. This defense swarming, sacking, getting him down 4th and 27. And what do the Titans have? They got a sack from Dorian Williams, and the Titans are done for as Williams throws it off the play action and a touchdown to Mason Taylor, and the game 35-14. Jets moving on, and even though you're 9-8, you sneak into the playoffs. Don't count us out. We got an elite defense behind us, and we got Quentin Harris doing really good stuff in the playoffs. No real mistakes being made, and Garrett Wilson has a nice day, and some other players got involved as well, and we are moving on to that 2nd round. The sacks were... It was a sack party for our Jets team. Everybody got in there, and that scoop and score being the turning point of that late game stage. And also, Jamel Dean getting an interception. That was huge as well. We get to take on the Bills once more. This time, once again on the road, once again in the snow. But the big difference this time around is the Bills are not going to be banged up. They're not injured. They have, their team is relatively healthy compared to how it was last season, and you could probably tell based on the fact that they're the 1 seed this time around, and Josh Allen is going to see if he can get a little bit of revenge. That's Keon Coleman, didn't play last time. James Cook into block, didn't play last time, and they're not going to still move the football because they go 3 and out, but we are down by 11, and you can really see the difference here between the fact that this Bills team is way more equipped this time around, but can we make that little comeback as we go? Stevens up the middle for a gain of 5. He's not run it well, 10 for 13, so it's up to the air passing attack to do its job, and Jalen Coker's got the first down. We're up over 200 yards through the air. Harris floating one down the seam, touchdown, and it's Barber. He's been lining up on the outside a lot, but he goes down the middle, and the speed gets him space, and now the 2-point conversion, shedding a sack, but Harris goes down, and we'll be down by 5, but cutting it down to a 1-score game, and Josh Allen's brought down. Quentin Williams and company gets in. That was also Igbenogany, as Allen on 3rd down can't make up the deficit that he caused with the sack, and now the Jets take over. Pressure in Harris's face, but he gets the throw off, and it will be 4th and inches. Gonna go for it. It's huge to go for it here, and you get the first down. Even though the ground game hasn't been good, you got just enough. But another 3rd down situation. The Bills have been putting us in a lot of 3rd down spots, but the conversion for Harris, another clutch one, and it's Barber getting it. How about 3rd down and 11? You go draw to try to catch him off guard, and it puts you in field goal range, though, so you were playing seemingly for that field goal. Kick is gonna be good, and it's 21-19. Bills desperately need to do something. The 3rd quarter's been all Jets, as it's been the Bills looking for something on offense, and it's incomplete. Sauce breaks it up, and we take over. But it's a 3rd down spot for us, and the difference has been we can convert on these 3rd downs, and the Bills have not been able to. 3rd and 11 again, and a conversion again. Stevens gets a big play, puts him on the ground, and all the way to the 13-yard line. And now now the Jets, this is what first and second down have looked like. A 1-yard run, and now second down and 9. A 2-yard loss. You go forward, you go 2 yards backwards, and now third down and 11, a sack. Jordan Phillips brings them down, but another field goal to round out this third quarter is going to put the Jets on top 22-21, and James Cook is going to try to make this Bills offense move a little bit. They haven't been able to, but finally a first down for Allen, as now with 11 to play from the 47. James Cook is going to be brought down for a gain of 1, third down and 6 for Allen, and he's going to try to run forward, but he runs right into pressure. And the defense again, and the offense once again. Another big play. Barber's had a massive game today. And now Harris is going to take a shot deep, third down to 11. He almost had the tip catch, Barber and Coker down there. Jets have to punt. Bills, Keon Coleman first down. They finally get something in the air. And now third down and 2. James Cook is going to get the first down to the 43 and finally back in Jet territory. It's been a little bit as James Cook to the edge. And Cook first down. 12 yards, and now it's third down. Cook's on the ground again. He's got another first, and the Bills are finally figuring it out on offense. Second down and 11 from the 19. Allen has got 3 guys there. It's a sack. Third and 22. Allen slipping in the snow. Gets rid of the football. And it's going to be a field goal try for the lead. Bills got it. And it's 24-22, and Quentin Harris now has 4 minutes to play. And he's got this team in position to where if they could go and get on this drive like they do right here with Garrett Wilson, get a couple more first downs like that, they can get into field goal range, win this game. Mason Taylor sheds a tackle, and Taylor has a gain of 17. 2 minutes to play. Harris over the middle, and there's Mason Taylor again. Fourth down and 2. Gotta have it spotted. He gotta have it to Garrett Wilson. Garrett converts, and the Jets underneath. There you go. Mason Taylor for 9 more. He's banged up, but we're in field goal range. Third and 2. We're going to the air, and Harris got a completion to Garrett Wilson again. He's over 400 yards on the day, and now play action. Wide open. Jonnu Smith checks in, scores a touchdown, and the Jets are on top with a minute to play. Could the Jets be going back to the AFC Championship? And they got James Cook on the screen. Bills, will it be heartbreak for them again? They got no excuses this time. Their team is healthy, and the Jets can beat them straight up. 50 seconds in the team. Scramble back to the line. They had to spike it third down and 5 as they throw the outside. He's got a completion. He spins off the tackle and a first down to the 43. 30 seconds to play. James Cook, screen, got the block. There goes Cook. He gets out of bounds smartly for 20 yards. 21 seconds to play. As from the 24, Allen, he's going down. Quentin Williams hurrying back to the line. And Allen got to spike it. 12, 11, 10, gets it down, third and 13. He got 2 plays, 2 shots at the end zone. Can't get tackled in bounds, and he will. It's going to be game over. You can't get back to the line in time. You got to the 11, but not far enough. Jets are going back to the AFC Championship, and they have taken out the Bills again. And the Bills have been bullying these Jets ever since Josh Allen came to town, and now the Jets are taking their revenge, and they are moving on to the Super Bowl doorstep one more time. Can they get to the finish line this time? And I mean, I wouldn't have expected it this year going 9-8, but I said this defense was special. I said we had a real chance with this defense, and now taking on, speaking of special, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. On the road, can it be a trifecta of road victories as we go taking on Lamar Jackson? And I don't know how the defense is going to fare. If anyone can evade all these athletic and talented rushers that we have, it is Lamar Jackson. So maybe he's just the guy to beat us, as it's a lead 21-7 for the Ravens coming out of the half, and they got the football as Lamar to the air, outside, incomplete, and an early break for the Jets as Harris takes over, and they'll find Jalen Coker for a gain of 10. Coker got it to second and inches, handing it off. Roquan can't make the play. First down, and now Harris over the middle. That's caught for Coker again, and Jalen Coker for 9 more. Third down and 3 from the 46. It is he's throwing incomplete, but the Jets are going for it. 4th and 3 from the 46. They're letting it fly. Jalen Coker, touchdown, Jets. Jalen Coker over the top of 4th down, and it's a 1-score game. That is a bold call, a bold play, and Jalen Coker, a little bit of a unsung hero for this team, as he always comes up when you need him. 14 points on the board for the Jets and the defense. Can you get off the field once more, as the speed on the screen's going to get him to 3rd down and inches from the 48. Lamar, 1st down on the ground. Now at the 44-yard line, 2nd down and 7. Lamar going to try to evade the rush. Throws it away. At least he got that off. 3rd down and 7, though, for Lamar as he goes over the middle. That's caught, and a 1st down to the 26. And Jackson is going to try to run away again. He gets rid of the football again. He's been able to do that a lot better than other quarterbacks we've faced, as Lamar will get his Ravens team a field goal. And 24-14 your score. Harris swings it outside. Stevens gets a block from Garrett Wilson, and he's close, but not quite. 3rd down and inches. Harris on the sneak gets the 1st down. We're running out of time here in this 3rd quarter, as Harris gets it to Mason Taylor. And Taylor for the 1st down. 21 seconds to play in the 3rd. Run it, and that's a good hole opened up over the middle of the field, and to the 29-yard line. That's how we'll go into the 4th quarter, in position to cut this down to 1 score, as over the middle, Taylor for the 1st down. We're in the red zone. Harris swings it out. There's Keaton Mitchell checking in the game, the former Raven, getting involved. Now from the 13, quick pass, Coker, 1st down, getting by Jair, and now from the 4-yard line, Harris is gonna get sacked to the fumble. No! And Matabike pokes it loose, and Odafe scoops it up, and now the Ravens take it over, but Quinnen Williams, our star interior D lineman, puts them to 3 and out, and a battle between these 2 top interior D linemen, and it's looking pretty even, as look at Stevens, he's got the speed, and he gets a big run back to the 27. We're going back right to where we were, as we're back in the red zone. Taylor to the 20-yard line. 3rd down and 3. Harris is going to throw it on the run. Jump ball for Coker, incomplete. And we're taking the field goal. Kick is good. 24-17, we're down to a 1-score game as Lamar on the keeper. Lamar, 1st down, and Lamar Jackson to the 39-yard line. Now with 5 minutes to play. Pass underneath, gonna be caught. 3rd down and 5, the spot here as they go on the ground, and Quinnen Williams stops him. What a play from Quinnen Williams. But our offense now backed up to 3rd and 8 for Harris, and he's gonna go outside. There's Barber coming up with a big play in a key situation. Now Stevens on the ground. He's not going to get far. We'll set up 3rd down and 6, split backfield. Harris is going to evade Matabike. Throw on the run, but it's incomplete. 4th down and 6. Potential game on the line. Harris, he's going deep. He wants it all. Incomplete. Tried to test Jair, and it's going to be Ravens football. And a couple of big plays can end it here, and a 1st down for the Raven offense. 1 more will do it. Lamar on the keeper, and Jackson gets 4. 3rd down and 4. Game on the line, and he's got it. 1st down Ravens, and Baltimore goes to the Super Bowl. And the Jets in back-to-back years, a familiar story for the Jets. A little scrappy defensive team with an elite cornerback going all the way to the AFC Championship 2 years in a row. Now, unlike the Rex Ryan-led Jets team, we hope that the following year doesn't start a big playoff drought. We're hoping that we can really take a next step up, because we still have Quentin Harris for a rookie contract, 2 more years, so we still got some money there. Harris, 24 touchdowns, 10 picks. The efficiency went up, though, and the ground game is still an issue. That's really where we're struggling. It's the ground game that's the problem. Wilson goes for 1,000 yards. Coker, a lot less touchdowns, but basically the same yards. And Fashanu with a really rough season, so that's got to get better. We got to clean that up. But the defense was awesome. And, I mean, when you're looking at the guys who stepped up, Quinnen Williams, go straight to the Pro Bowl, go straight to an all-pro team with that double-digit sack season. Jermaine Johnson with 9, McDonald with 7, Reeder got involved a little bit, Sherwood, Ellis, and obviously when you're looking at all the sack production from this team and Sauce Gardner, just one pick on the season, but he's not the guy getting interceptions. He's the guy locking down receivers, and people aren't even throwing him the football. But Sauce has been incredible. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles take down the Ravens in the Super Bowl, and we're going to accept the option for Membu. We didn't accept it for Shanu because we wanted to get the contract extension, but we'll take the $13 million on Membu for now. Buda Baker, we got $30 million freed up in total right now, and between Buda Baker and Jamel Dean, it's looking like that's kind of where our money is going to go. Buda is definitely somebody we want to bring back. He was awesome, and we get him on a 2-year deal. Jamel Dean, though, on the other hand, $9 million. He does not want to stay. So we are going to have to still figure out that second corner spot once again. And looking in free agency, I did find somebody that I was really interested in. I was really looking at this linebacking core. And how about Morris Liufau? Superstar dev, 79 overall. I know that's not crazy, but for the contract, how about just over $3 million a year? And a big part of that is also the fact that Quincy Williams has regressed quite a bit. Now, at cornerback, when I was looking for who to trade for, originally my number one was actually Trayvon Diggs. I wanted to trade for Trayvon Diggs instead of Jamel Dean. He was a year younger and in a similar spot for the Cowboys. The money just didn't line up, and he was on an expiring deal, so we just ended up offering Trayvon Diggs, who we originally wanted. Now, look at the defensive tackle situation for the Falcons. I talked about how we are in a spot where now we drafted a good defensive tackle. DJ Reader's less of a need for us, but tight end, I feel like, is a bit of a need. How about an interesting little player swap here? I think this one makes a little bit of sense. We need a tight end. You need a defensive tackle. And I know Kyle Pitts is a joke for a lot of people, but Kyle Pitts is still pretty good. He's still a pretty good player. He's just not the generational player that we thought he was going to be. Now, also, like I said, Quincy Williams has regressed. He's down to a 79 overall, and that's kind of where we look at Morris Liufau, also a 79 overall, much cheaper. I mean, Liufau would be getting paid $3.5 million at most, whereas Quincy Williams is making $10 million. That's just a good money moving play for us to make. We get Trayvon Diggs, we get Patrick Ricard back, we get Michael Dixon, so it's not a lot for free agency, but we get, Trayvon Diggs essentially and Liufau. We swap them. The team isn't like a drastic improvement. We just swapped Dean for Diggs, we swapped Williams for Liufau, and we swapped out DJ Reader, elevated our rookie defensive tackle from last year, and plug in Kyle Pitts. As much as I like Mason Taylor, he hasn't developed. He plays okay, but I don't think, someone going into an expiring contract that we're looking to extend Mason Taylor to a big contract, and I want to keep getting this offense better. Looking at the draft as well, I'm not loving what's on the board here at the 29th pick, and I'm sitting here saying, why not make our first superstar trade of the rebuild? We haven't traded for any massive superstars. And if there's one guy I feel bad for, if you've seen the interview after Daniel Jones got made a starter in real life for the Colts, Quentin Nelson's just like, man, I just want to do something, man. I just want to go somewhere. I want to compete. I want to get a consistent quarterback. We have a quarterback. We have a consistent quarterback. Quentin Nelson's 32 years old. He's rotting away on the Colts. And again, I know for a 32-year-old guard, a first-round pick is a lot. We are getting some stuff in return, but I think this makes a lot of sense. Left guard is the spot that's been our weakest point, and if we can turn our biggest weakness on the offensive line to our biggest strength, then that's huge. Again, also, haven't traded for any superstars yet. I think this is a superstar trade that makes sense. The Colts haven't been all that great, and they're just looking to move on. We are in a Super Bowl window with enough money to make this work. We have just enough money to make this happen, and 2 straight AFC championships. It makes sense for us to just go for it. We don't need nothing in the first round that we can get right now will help us more. So how about a first round pick and a future third for Quentin Nelson, a third and a fourth? We have to add a little bit more to it, but I think this trade works out very good for us. A first round pick for Quentin Nelson and some pick swaps. So we'll get a fourth for a sixth, and we'll get a this year third for a future third. So it's just some pick swaps, but the Colts will double up on first round draft picks, and we get ourselves a premium guard at the tail end of his career, but on a run trying to make a Super Bowl appearance. Also at running back, I go and make my third round selection. Remember, I traded my second rounder for Buda Baker. So we are, looking at our draft haul, it's Quentin Nelson, Buda Baker, and whatever else we end up bringing in. So at running back, I drafted a running back. He doesn't have hidden dev. Unfortunate. This defensive tackle is just looking to bring in some depth. He's not that good. It's whatever. But we are just looking to try to make things happen for this year. I still think there's a chance to maybe make another move during the season. But how about this pick? This is a good one. Right guard, Emmanuel McMillan, 41st in true talent, hidden dev, and maybe, you know, beyond Quentin Nelson, a potential developmental guy for us? Maybe. You know, Quentin Nelson, I guess there's every chance he could retire after the next year or not re-sign or just fall off a cliff development-wise and regression. So, you know, there's always a chance. So it's nice to have that little contingency plan. But the rest of the draft was pretty much a non-factor. I mean, when your top pick is a third rounder, then you're not going to get a whole lot in the draft. But we're not in a spot where we need a lot in the draft. Looking at the team now, Quentin Nelson steps in, Kyle Pitts steps in. Think that's pretty good. Everything else pretty much the same. Everyone's getting slightly better. Patrick Ricard's going down a little bit, but on defense, we swap out Dean, get Trayvon Diggs in, and we swap out Quincy Williams, get Leafau in, but everything else on the defense essentially the same because Quincy Richards steps up and we lose DJ Reader. Elijah Vera Tucker has been awesome for us. We're looking to keep him around on an extension. We signed him to a little extension at the start. We'll get him on another one, and we start the season 3-0 in the offense. Is looking pretty nice. It's the passing game, though, that is looking nice. 370 yards through the air. Drake May had an awesome day, but, I mean, we just were able to outdo him there. And you look at Garrett Wilson for 140, Barber for 130. Garrett Wilson, I'm glad I can give him the quarterback that he has desperately needed and really deserves. Dorian Williams, we're going to go and give him a little contract extension. I like the future of this linebacking core without Quincy Williams, you know, having Dorian Williams and keeping Sherwood around. Sherwood's definitely somebody we want to keep. He's been so fun. But, yeah, we're doing pretty well. Garrett Wilson, another 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. The run game's still a problem. I think that's just the final piece that we need to figure out. Quinton Williams with another 2.5 sacks as well, but the rushing attack has been bad. And that's the move where I'm looking at and saying, we need to figure this out. It's just been under 100 yards like every game. I mean, that was 99, but it's not necessarily the amount, it's the efficiency. 2.2 a carry. We can't do that. We can't do like 3.3 a carry for Stevens, 3.4 a carry for Braylon Allen. And I finally was just like, okay, if we're going to do it this year, we need to find a running back. And I tried to look at some superstars. I tried to look at like Kyron Williams and Josh Jacobs in their late 20s, early 30s, thinking, well, maybe they'd be willing to part with them. They weren't willing to. Rams are a little bit of a contender. Packers are pretty good. But then I went to that kind of mid-tier of running backs, and my eyes landed on one guy in particular that I think makes a little bit of sense here. Bashal Tutin. Fun player. But my philosophy is sitting here saying, one, Doug Bowden and a second-round pick, we can part ways with that. A future second, it's going to be a late second. Doug Bowden, we got Quentin Nelson, and we just drafted a hidden development. They need a guard. We get Bashal Tutin and a 4th-round pick back. But for the thought process here, if the run game isn't going to be good regardless, at least give me a guy who can hit a home run. And like that on cue, immediately comes in and has a longer run, 80 yards than what Stevens and Braylon Allen have had in their whole careers. At least give us a guy who at any point can change the complexion of a game. Tutin's been pretty solid in his career, and you see Russell Barber too, also getting a nice 3-touchdown game, but Tutin's not an expensive player either. I at least just want a guy who can be a difference maker. He's overall wise, anything like crazy, but he's just somebody that can make a big play happen, and that's what we've needed. We go 11-6 on the season, and we are back in the playoffs. We are a division winner, and we're taking on the Jaguars. Quentin Harris actually finishes 5th in MVP as well, and we got some awards to really look at. Garrett Wilson, 4th in Offensive Player of the Year. Quinton Williams, 5th in Defensive Player of the Year. And, like, we haven't no winners, but, like, we're getting guys in the running. Quentin Harris, 3rd in best quarterback. Tutin, 7th in best running back. Best receiver. Wilson, 2nd. Best offensive lineman, though. Elijah Vera Tucker. Take a look at that. That's awesome. Quinton Williams, 4th in best D lineman. So, we had some guys up there. Even our kicker was 3rd in best kicker. But let's go to the home playoff game. And once again, we're snowing. And, you know, getting to play up in New York every other playoff game. Yeah, snow's going to happen here in December, January, February, where we're looking to play our seasons out. We're also going to see Bashal Tutin. Maybe a little bit of a revenge game for him. Let's see what he's got. It's 17-14 here. as we got the lead. We got the football to start things off, and let's see what this offense with a little bit more firepower can do. As Harris over the middle, there you go. Wanted to get the explosiveness up in the offense. Kyle Pitts helps us. Bayshall Tootin, meanwhile, he also helps us. Gets to the edge, and a first down. But the three big additions, Tootin, Kyle Pitts, Quentin Nelson. I think that could be enough to get us over the hump here for our offense, as we have Harris at the 32-yard line. Second down and 3. Going to Tootin. Gets through, and Bayshall for the first down, gain of 11. Harris to the air. Underneath, there's Kyle Pitts. And Kyle Pitts down to the pylon. He's at the 1. And now from the goal line, they're going to go. Handing it off. Braylon Allen still has a use on this team as our goal line. Short yardage back and a touchdown for the Jets. 24-14 your score as Trevor Lawrence takes over. And he's going down. Johnson, McDonald combine. Third down and 14. As Lawrence with time is going to go underneath. Not going to find anybody open. Even when you get the protection, the coverage is good. As now we sweep it to Tootin, and he's going to get brought down for no gain. Third down and 10 for the offense. Harris finding Wilson. They call him inches shy. I would have challenged that one, but the Jags take over, and Lawrence is going to find his man for a gain of 8. Now it's going to be third down and 4 for Lawrence over the middle, and it's broken up by Sauce. And now third down and 7 for Harris, and he finds Barber. We convert. Now we're in scoring position again. Harris to the outside. There you go for Kyle Pitts once more. Look at Kyle Pitts having a big performance as Harris in the red zone. He sacked Josh Hines. Allen got in there, and we're going to have to settle for a field goal, keeping it a 2-score game. 27-14 as Lawrence to start the fourth quarter. He's throwing one deep on third down, and he had him, but he missed him. Lawrence just missed it. That was nothing other than a miss as Tootin gets 8. Second down and 2, and go with the little Patrick Ricard fullback dive and a first down. There you go. Catch him off guard a little bit as you go to the outside, and look who it is. Kyle Pitts again. And, I mean, I think you could see why we were a little excited to maybe get some more explosiveness in the tight end room. Mason Taylor was cool and all, but Kyle Pitts has been a step up as now we go up with a field goal, 30-14. It's been all Jets in this second half. Lawrence has not been able to do much, and he's throwing it deep again. And this time it's underthrow for Brian Thomas. Incomplete. Third down and 11. Lawrence can't handle the snow, can you? But he beats it to Brian Thomas. As, yeah, you're used to playing in sunny Jacksonville, maybe Florida. It's just not your speed, and that's a big hit. We're used to playing here. Third down and 6. Lawrence got the first, but he slips and goes down. Third down and 10 for Lawrence. Send in the blitz again. And that's a almost sack. He got hit as he was throwing. Fourth and 10 for Lawrence. Gotta go for it. He's gonna go all the way to the end zone. It's incomplete. And the Jags turn it over on downs. And I think Kyle Pitts in this offense is going to move us on to the second round, because this Jags team can't do much of anything to stop us right now. Tootin gets us to 4th and 1. We'll punt it. I think we could have went for it there. But, I mean, we've run enough time off the clock to where there's just about 3 minutes to play. Jags are not really in a good spot. They got to go the length of the field and get a 2-point conversion. They might start burning timeouts on this drive as well if it gets to that point. 2nd and 1. Lawrence is going to get the first down, but we'll give him stuff like that as he'll keep taking time off the clock. 2:40 to play. Lawrence, clean pocket. And that's going to be Brian Thomas over the middle. Just wrap him up, make the tackle. You're down to 2:25 to play in enemy territory. There's the run for a first down and a big hit for Budda Baker. Third down and 7 for Lawrence. 2-minute warning is hit now, and he's going to go to the outside, broken up. 4th down and 7, and this is your game here. What little hope the Jags have left. They get it to Thomas for the first down. And you got it to the 23, but Jags go into the end zone up top, knocked away. 3rd down and 10 once more, and Lawrence going up top again, and you're just not having it happen. 4th down. This defense shuts the door. Jermaine Johnson, 3rd sack of the day for the defense, and the game is going to be all over. Jets win it, move on to the second round, and the Jaguars just were not ready for the snow. They were not ready for us, and we played a phenomenal game on both sides of the football. Harris throws 40 times in the snow and does pretty dang good. 77 completion percentage, no turnovers. Very efficient, effective game. Tootin has a nice 4.1 yards per carry. That's all we could ask for. Kyle Pitts, though, 94 yards through the air. It was Kyle Pitts coming up big. And the defense, Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald, each with a sack and a half. But Quinnen Williams, unfortunately, is going to get hurt. We're going to have to do this without him, it looks like. If we make it all the way to the Super Bowl, the extra week might to get him back, but we have to get there first. And we got to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to do it. So it's not going to be easy going against Patrick Mahomes without our biggest disruptor on the defensive line. And this is where that young defensive tackle Richards has got to step in and really fill those shoes. But we still got a really talented defense elsewhere. Against this 13-win Chiefs team, Mahomes is down by 10, 20-10 your score, and it's not been a great day for Mahomes. Just 80 yards as he completes that. Xavier Worthy, but look at Will McDonald blowing up that run as Mahomes got it knocked away by Sauce Gardner and almost threw the pick as now we take over. And Tootin sheds 2 tackles and Bayshall for 10. Quick throw on the RPO and a first down to Coker. As now at midfield, there goes Harris and a first to Kyle Pitts. And this offense really clicking, and then Kyle Pitts again breaks a tackle, and Kyle Pitts has got 10 more, and this offense moving it so well, and this Chiefs team don't know what hit them right now. It's like a Kyle Pitts again. I am so impressed with Pitts. I know on paper trading a quality defensive tackle for a underperforming tight end is not great, but it's worked out for us so far. 3rd down and goal as Harris is going to scramble. He's going to throw on the run, and it's incomplete. 4th down and 2 from the goal line. Bashal down at the 1, and it's going to be Mahomes taking over, and we were not able to go up by 3 scores. I appreciate the effort, though, as now 2nd down and 1 from the 22. Mahomes is going to throw it deep. He's got Worthy. Xavier Worthy. Touchdown. 70 yards for the fastest man in the NFL. He got by Trayvon Diggs, and he was not going to be able to catch him. As now the defense of the Chiefs, can they get this football back late in the 3rd quarter as we're already at the 39-yard line. 2nd down and 5. Harris on the run. Down the field. What a throw to Coker. 1st down and goal. 4th quarter, a minute away. As underneath, it's caught. Kyle Pitts. Touchdown. And the offense responds beautifully. And now the Chiefs right back down by 10, and they are going to go to the outside for a gain of 9. 2nd down and 1 from the 30. Pacheco on the ground, and there's Sauce Gardner bringing him down. 4th quarter underway, 3rd and 10. Mahomes is going to step up over the middle. It's caught. He's got room to run, and a big hit gets him down, but Mahomes has the offense in enemy territory, and he's throwing it deep on Sauce, but not happening. 4th down, and they're going to go for the long kick. Field goal, make it a 1-score game is no good. And the offense takes over. But Harris on 3rd down, he's throwing it deep. He's got 1-on-1, and it's incomplete. Bold to throw it up to Braylon Allen of all people. But Mahomes will take over, and it's going to be a pass for a completion of 1st down. 36-yard line over the middle, 1st down again. As now at midfield, Mahomes with 7 to play. Outside, it's intercepted! Sauce Gardner takes it away from Xavier Worthy, and the Jets have the football in a 2-score lead, and Mahomes might not be going back to a conference championship. It might be the Jets again, as we throw to the outside, Garrett Wilson. Chiefs absolutely cannot allow us to put this ball in the end zone, or it will probably be all over, as Bayshall for the 1st down. Loving what I'm seeing from him. I think he's definitely an upgrade at running back. And here he goes, Braylon Allen on the ground. And Braylon Allen for a solid little gain of 6. 3rd down and 3. Give it back to Allen, who's going to power and not quite get the first. 4th down and 1. We punt it. I mean, didn't want to go for the long field goal. I understand that, but maybe could have gone for it. I understand punting it, though. Trust in your defense with 4 minutes to play. Don't give Mahomes too many opportunities to get good field position and just all of a sudden pull this team back in it. 3rd down and 2. Mahomes on the keeper. What a hit. 4th and inches. And it's incomplete. What a job from the defense. That was incredible. That hit, and now we can get this game over with. Braylon Allen staying on the ground, and another 1st down. down, get that clock running. Under 2 to play. Harris caught, and Coker down to the 1, handing it off. Braylon Allen. Game is over. Jets are moving on again, and a 34-17 victory. And man, I cannot just praise this defense enough. It's been incredible, and Quentin Harris has piloted the ship perfectly, efficiently, not turning the football over. Bayshall got a 59-yarder in the game, over 100 yards on the day. He's been a big game changer at the running back spot for us. And Jalen Coker with another 100-yard day and a big performance for him. And every time we get into the playoffs, it's Jalen Coker coming up with a big moment. And we didn't get a lot of sack production, but we didn't need it. Sauce Gardner with the big interception. And how about in the AFC Championship, we get ourselves another chance at the Baltimore Ravens. Once again on the road. We were not able to take out Lamar previously. He made it to the Super Bowl, wasn't able to get the job done. But the Ravens are looking to get to Super Bowl number 3 of Lamar's career. We're looking to get to our first. And the Jets, it's 14-10 in a close one. Harris gets the ball to start that half, but it's going to be a 3-and-out. And now the offense of the Ravens takes over, and Lamar's going to keep it. Lamar on the ground, breaks a tackle, and Lamar for 6. As now, I mean, I can't think of many better players to be a replacement for Derrick Henry than who they got right here. Cam Scatterboo is their running back, because as if you needed more physicality down there, they're going to go Scatterboo's way. And Cam, off the middle, he puts it on the ground, and the Ravens turn it over. Jermaine Johnson scoops it up, and the Ravens defense is gonna have to just save them, because our defense is coming up with big plays every single day. Bayshall to the outside, put his speed on display, and we got to a 35-yard line after a 15-yard gain. Harris, he's gonna keep it, cuts it inside, and Harris reaching, gets 9. 2nd down and 1. Hand up right up the middle. Bayshall, 1 man to beat, to the 10, at the 5. And his speed is game-changing. 3rd down and goal. Get it to Barber on the pitch, and it's going to be 4th and goal. Even though we weren't able to punch it in, we get the 7-point lead, and Lamar and the offense takes over as they throw over the middle for a 1st down. And now 42-yard line, Lamar to the air, deep drop, and he's going to go underneath for the tight end. And it'll be 8 yards, midfield, 2nd down and 1. Drop again for a pass, and Lamar, maybe they're not trusting Scatterboo on the ground after that fumble. You can't blame them. They get 11, as now 2nd down and 7 from the 36, and a sack, Jamie Sherwood. Right up the middle on the blitz. I love what Sherwood does for this defense. And now Lamar's got a 3rd and 14. Pressure not getting in there. And we're going to have to go defend this deep pass. It's reeled in. How did he bring that one in? And that's Scatterboo on the ground. He's got an open lane. Scatterboo brought down. Gain of 16 to the 2-yard line. Lamar looking for the tie. End zone. Touchdown. Ravens. And it's LeJohntay Wester tying the game up. Jets taking over as it's Bayshall Tootin for a 1st down. We're on to the 4th quarter as Harris in a tie game hit as he's throwing, and they're going to have to punt it as now the Ravens take over. And they go underneath for a 1st down and more. That's a big body tight end for the 1st down to the 40-yard line. They go Scatterboo up the middle, and he's trying to make up for that fumble, and it seems like he's doing a good job so far. Play action Lamar outside. Got the 1st down. Not quite. It's 3rd and 1. And Lamar, now he's got it. They'll sneak it for the 1st. 2nd down and 13. Lamar down the field. It's railed in. 1st down for Rashad Bateman to the 13. Lamar will keep it on the ground. Gets the block. Cuts it inside of the 4-yard line. 3rd and 1. Scatterboo is going to get stopped. And they force the field goal try. So the Ravens take over the lead 20-17. And we'll have the kickoff. It's Barber, undrafted superstar, gets a lane, and there goes Barber! And there he goes! He's got the speed, and no one's gonna catch him! Russell Barber! Touchdown on the kick return! And that is as clutch of a play as you can have. 5 minutes to go, and the Jets got the lead. And the Ravens, how demoralizing does that gotta be to get back into this, get the lead, and have it disappear in just seconds as Lamar takes off, and Lamar Jackson gets 14 and 4 minutes to play from the 48. Scatterboo up the middle. Scatterboo gets free. 1 man can't catch him. Touchdown Ravens. Cam Scatterboo. And now the Jets gotta do their job to get another big play on their side to take the lead. 3 minutes to go, and Coker fights ahead for the first down and gets to the 40-yard line. 60 yards separating us from the lead as there you go, up the save to Pitts. That's a gain of 23. Harris over the middle, it's Barber again. And Russell Barber with another clutch play from the 14. 2 minutes to go, and a catch for Coker to the 6. Now handing it off to in, loses a yard. 3rd and 3 from the 7. Harris is gonna go for the end zone. Russell Barber, touchdown! And the Ravens couldn't stop us, and we're a minute 18 away from getting to a Super Bowl. Can the defense shut the door as Lamar from the 23 hands it off, and Jamie Sherwood, what a hit! Fumbling and putting on the ground. Jamie Sherwood has maybe just sent the Jets to the Super Bowl with one big hit. And the Ravens, how do you let that happen? Lamar's got to be demoralized. The Ravens fans got to be demoralized. And now the Jets, they're not going to get much on this drive. They're going to go down, but they make the Ravens burn all their timeouts and kick a field goal. So even though the Ravens will get a chance, it's not the same chance that they once had. They can only tie this game with a touchdown and an extra point, and they got no timeouts as Scadaboo checks out, and he will have his backup get 6 yards. Scadaboo back in, and now 33 seconds to go. Lamar scrambling. Lamar Jackson, 45-yard line. 20 seconds to play after the spike, and now Lamar is gonna get sacked. Jermaine Johnson. This team only has 2 sacks on the day, but this second one came in the biggest of moments. Lamar spikes it, and we're down to a Hail Mary. Lamar for the Super Bowl appearance. Lamar chucks it deep. He's got the arm. It's right at the goal line, and it's intercepted. Just go down. The Jets are going to a Super Bowl, and Lamar Jackson is going down. Lamar couldn't get it done. Scadaboo put it on the ground twice. Russell Barber came up clutch. Quinton Harris, welcome to the Super Bowl. Lamar had a pretty nice day. Just wasn't able to get it done. The 2 fumbles from Scadaboo really were the game changer. And even though he had over 100 yards and that big 50-yard touchdown was not going to overcome those 2 fumbles. They didn't offset. They definitely overpowered his good game. Jamie Sherwood, a sack, 15 tackles, 2 for a loss, and forced fumbles. What a game from Sherwood. Incredible. We're taking on the Rams in the Super Bowl, and the Rams have had a unique little journey so far in this franchise. They traded for Geno Smith after Matthew Stafford retired. Then Geno retired. Then they traded for Tua. Tua's not their quarterback. In fact, the quarterback that is their starter right now is a guy who was drafted in the same class as Harris, and not only that, was drafted after Harris in the draft, a 2nd-round pick, someone that I guess we passed up on in favor of Harrison. It's a battle of these 2 quarterbacks to determine who gets the first Super Bowl from this class. Who is getting the Lombardi in the end? And can we complete this rebuild? Can we get that ring that we have been searching for? Jets fans have waited a long time. It's 14-14, and now the Jets take over on offense. It's 3rd and 11 the other way. Kyle Pitts for the first down, as Harris has had a solid day so far. He throws to the outside, and a first down for Coker. And Jalen Coker sets up a 3rd down and 5 at the 41 now as we go with a little pass to Barber. Pop pass, loses a yard. We punt it. And now going to the offensive side of the football. Kyron Williams, he was a running back we tried to trade for. Understandably, they kept him. They have a Super Bowl roster, and they can get the job done here. As this 3rd quarter's kind of flown by, it's been pretty defensive heavy. As Kyron Williams gets a 10-yard gain, 2nd and inches. Back to Kyron, 1st down, and Williams for 5. As now it's going to be 2nd and 12, and it's going to be a pass to the outside on the screen. Jamie Sherwood stops him for a loss. 3rd and 17, and the pressure gets him hit as he's throwing, and the Jets are going to take over on offense now at the 10-yard line. Here goes Bayshall, and he's got a 1st down gain of 15. Now you fake it to Barber, go to Bayshall, gets past the line, gets another 1st down, and Bayshall doing what an awesome performance so far in this Super Bowl as they go go down the same. It's Jalen Coker. He's going to go all the way to the 1 yard line. Coker, he had a big play. And now down to the one. We lose 3 from Braylon Allen. But Byshall to the outside. Pylon, touchdown, Jets. And Jalen Coker sets us up, and Byshall finishes it off. As now the Rams on the other side, big play, and they immediately strike back with a massive play to start the fourth quarter and quieting this little Jets onslaught. But there goes Quentin Williams with a sack, and Quentin gets on the board. 2nd and 18. Williams got in there again. He has to throw it off his back foot. What a grab, what a throw. And they're in the red zone now. Kyron Williams gets stopped by Quentin Williams. And now they're backed up to 2nd and 14. And now the Rams go back to Kyron. He gets by Sauce Gardner. And he gets a nice run of 12 to set up 3rd and 2 at the 8. Dropping to throw. He's going to try to ride, but Quentin Williams with the sack. His 2nd on the drive, and they got to settle for a field goal. It's 21-17 as the Jets take over. And Kyle Pitts gets us the 3rd down and 2. Harris to the outside. It's caught by Coker, and he reaches for the 1st down. Coker's having an incredible Super Bowl performance as they go over the middle. Garrett Wilson for the 1st down. He takes that shot and hangs on. And there's Jalen Coker again. Come on, Jalen Coker, get us that ring. As there goes Harris, he's getting sacked. And with 5 minutes to play, you're backed up 2nd and goal from the 14. And now Harris to the air. He's looking. He's rolling. He's throwing underneath. Barber gets him on the ground, but it's going to be 4th and 3. He put him on the dirt with that juke, but if he had a little bit more field, he could have scored. We take the field goal. It's 24-17. And now the Jets have to go and stop them out on here on defense. It's 4 minutes to play. Plenty of time for the Rams as they're going to throw outside. There it is. 1st down. And that is Puka Nacua with the 1st. He's been quiet, but this Rams offense still moving. Kyron Williams, 3rd down into the spot, and they'll throw over the middle. He hangs on. 1st down, 1:20 to play. Clean pocket, throws outside. Puka, 1st down to the 22-yard line. A minute to go, and he's going to get another 1st down at the 10-yard line. Can the defense hold him here? And he shoots the gap. Dorian Williams stop him for a loss. 2nd and goal, 33 seconds to play. Quentin Williams gets him down. 3rd and goal, 28 seconds to play. And it's a sack again. Defense coming up big. 2 straight sacks. 4th and goal. Super Bowl on the line. Rams back to the line. They'll have enough time to snap it, but this is it. He's gonna drop back. Williams pressuring. He gets the throw up, but it's short, and the New York Jets are gonna win the Super Bowl, and we have taken it home on defense, getting the job done. One more play. Don't even kneel it for some reason, but we're going to get the job done. Celebrate, and the game is over, and in just year 4, we have completed our goal and gotten this Jets team all the way to a Super Bowl. And I am stunned at how amazing everything has gone. I really think I've done a great job constructing this team, and we have gotten them all the way to the promised land. And I mean, we got our franchise quarterback, Quentin Harris, got the job done. The defense was incredible, and we had a couple of offensive pickups that really put us over the edge as we get to hoist that Lombardi trophy. And we take a look at what the game resulted in. Quentin Harris, 400 yards on the day, but it wasn't just that. Some of these other performances, Byshall Tootin, 71 yards and a touchdown on the ground, and Jalen Coker, 196 yards, and Byshall Tootin also 73 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. So Byshall had 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Quentin Williams had 3 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and, like, who gets Super Bowl MVP? Well, they give it to Byshall Tootin. Was it the quarterback who threw for 400 yards and multiple touchdowns? Was it Byshall Tootin who had 140 yards and 3 touchdowns? Was it Jalen Coker who had 200 yards receiving on 12 grabs? Or was it Quentin Williams who had 3 sacks and 7 tackles for loss? All of them were incredible Super Bowl performances. Any one of them could have gotten it. The season as a whole, Byshall was a great addition. Garrett Wilson fully unlocked into becoming a top 10 certified wide receiver in the NFL, maybe even pushing top 5. I mean, he almost won the Triple Crown, by the way. He had the most catches, the most yards, and was like 3rd in touchdowns. Like, he had an incredible year. Quinnen Williams had a career year. Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, double-digit sacks. Everything came together for this team. And I had planned for this to be a 5-year rebuild, and it would be like, yeah, you get 5 years. If you do it, great. If not, it is what it is. But to do it in year 4, I want to go one more year. I don't think we have a reason to stop this season. I want to see what happens one more year. Take us to the end of Quentin Harris's rookie contract. You can see the 5th-year option here. I mean, we're not going to accept it. I mean, we're not even going beyond the 5th year, but we'll just go and negotiate a contract with him because he deserves it. But when we're looking at the money that we have, it's not a lot, and that's not a surprise. I mean, Quentin Nelson wants to go and test free agency. We'll go and figure that situation out, but I'm going to try to formulate this to squeeze out as much value as I can here. We have $42 million. Jalen Coker, what a signing Jalen Coker has been. I'm not letting him go. I cannot let Coker go. We're going to keep him around. He says yes. $8 million a year for what Coker gives us, which is literally like 900 yards and big playoff performances. Yeah, we don't want to let that go out the door. But our special teams is also expiring. And, I mean, we're not going to have money for free agency, so it's just kind of a matter of getting everything we can here. DeMar Hamlin will let go. Sam Howell will let go. Malachi Moore will let go. Ronnie Hickman, Mason Taylor will let go. We're just trying to keep the stars here. And Kyle Pitts, really impressive in the playoffs especially. I want to keep him. 2-year deal, I think, is fair. $15 million is more than I'd like to pay, but I can't say he didn't earn it with his playoff performances. I can't say he isn't a valuable part of this team. $19 million left. Jermaine Johnson wants $16 million. I don't think I can keep Jermaine Johnson. Unfortunately, I don't think I can. And I don't think it's worth. We're going to go and look at our kicker, though. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to sign the other exterior positions, kicker, punter, whatever other little pieces, and then we're going to franchise tag Quentin Nelson, go down into the negative, and just make do with no Jermaine Johnson. So I think that works, that checks, and we still have Jonah Ellis, remember. We have Jonah Ellis, who can, I guess, step into the starting role. I know that's not ideal, but, you know, when you win a Super Bowl and you got this stacked of a team and everything, you can't keep everybody. So, yeah, Jermaine Johnson, it's just 17 or 16.5 million is what he's looking for, and we just don't got the money for it. So it is what it is. 13 million, and we're gonna franchise tag Quentin Nelson. We could have franchise tagged Jermaine Johnson, but I'd rather keep Quentin Nelson. So we're losing him. We had negative money, so we couldn't make any free agency signings, and because we were also in negative money, we can't really do much when it comes to trading this draft pick for anything. We end up just moving down a little bit, and when it comes to our second round selections, I mean, I just decided, you know, we know his talent. He's 2nd to 3rd round. He's okay. We need an edge rusher. At the very least, he'll be some depth, and we at least have some knowledge on him. Solid athlete. I think this is at least a good enough selection for us, but like I said, with our negative money, we just need to kind of take our draft picks to fill out spots, fill out backups, fill out roles. It's where you kind of get into that tough spot. This is a role we could really fill. How about another cornerback? This one, round 1 to 2 talent. So Sean Gilchrist, I think, is actually about as good of a pick as you're going to get in this spot. And, you know, maybe if we were going multiple years beyond year 5, this would be like our future number 2 corner. Maybe our nickel corner, something like that. But here's what the draft class ended up looking like. We only had 6 draft picks, and we just kind of filled out the other spots. We got a tight end to replace Mason Taylor, got a defensive tackle for some depth, got a kicker just in case. He's going to play punter for us. But you can take a look at also what the best players in the class was. I like showing that. A couple of guards, cornerback, safety. But we get to move on to one more year with this team. Quentin Harris is looking incredible. Running back, Zach Stevens is here, but like Bryce Shaw is going to be the starter. If I can free up some money and we need to, I might trade him on an expiring deal. We could probably get something for him. Receiving core is pretty thin because, like I said, we weren't able to really fill out everything when it came to our cap situation, but we got a full offensive line. We got a defensive line where our only loss is Jermaine Johnson. This is essentially like the same team, just a bit thinner, and Jonah Ellis being a starter over Jermaine Johnson. But everything else is mostly the same. I guess also a little older, but Jamie and Sherwood didn't really regress. No one really regressed except like Trayvon Diggs did a little bit. Buda Baker did. So like there's some regression, but like this is, I'd say, still like 95% of the team that we were last year. That means the expectations are that of a Super Bowl performance for this team. Can we get back? Can we win back-to-back? Can we, at least get back to the AFC Championship, where under Quentin Harris, we have made the AFC Championship every single season. It's been 3 years of that. So we start off the year, and it was a very interesting start of the year, where coming off a Super Bowl defense, you're thinking maybe a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover for this team as we go and we lose. Trayvon Diggs gets hurt, so we're fine enough where he's not going to, like, the depth at corner is one of the positions that we are fine at. We lose to the Raiders, we lose to the Dolphins, and I'm thinking, man, is like the depth of this team being a little bit worse really hurting us? I don't think Jonah Ellis by himself is tanking this team, but we lose to Washington by 3. Washington's a great team, but still another loss. We're sitting here at 0-3 coming off a Super Bowl win. And not to say I'm full-blown hitting the panic button, but I was sitting here saying, okay, if this is going to be the last year where we have Quentin Harris on a cheap contract, and Quentin Nelson's old, Buda Baker's old, Trayvon Diggs is old, Sherwood's going to start regressing, Quentin Williams is going to start regressing. Like, this team is kind of like at its peak, at its pinnacle. You need to really go all in for this season as well. Especially like I said right here, I wanted to at least give him the extension, even if we aren't going to see it through. This is what Quentin Harris is going to get, and it is a massive $60 million a year contract, and we are sitting here at 1-4. So at that point, it's like, yeah, okay, we need to do something here. Especially now, Garrett Wilson tears his abdominal out a couple of games. So here is what we are doing. We're going to get to restructuring a little bit. We need to free up some money. We're at negative $13 million in cap space, but we are going to get into restructuring. We look at what Sauce, Garrett Wilson are making. Quentin Williams is making 32. We can't restructure that. But you could see all the money that we have allocated into these players. Olu Fashanu as well. So for Sauce Gardner, we're going to restructure. Kick that money back another year. He is going to help us get into the positive. And we're not going to be done quite yet, but we need another edge rusher. What made us like really big is we had a lot of depth. We don't have depth anymore. Jonah Ellis is a 3, not a 2. And the Chiefs have a number 2 backup edge rusher, I guess I should say. So I guess they're number 3 that we are interested in. Ashton Gelati is an 84 overall. He's developed pretty well. Zach Stevens is not a player that is useful for us anymore. And the Chiefs need a running back. The Chiefs have always needed a running back, it feels like. So Zach Stevens on an expiring contract is going to go there. We're getting Ashton Gelati on an expiring contract coming here. Quentin Nelson, we get him on a 1-year extension, and we do that for the sole purpose of getting him on that 1-year extension and then restructuring and kicking back some of that money to his final year, we presume, because he could even retire after this season. So we're going to kick back some of that money, get $6 million, and with only 4 receivers on our team, and the fact that Garrett Wilson is injured, we need another receiver for some depth. And Chris Godwin, this is a team where you're going for a bunch of players that are experienced, know what they're doing. Godwin's sitting here in free agency at a 79 overall, and we're going to get him in. He's going to play maybe a little bit while Garrett Wilson's hurt, and we get it back on track with a victory. We made some little tweaks, little adjustments, little moves in the depth chart, and Ashton Gelati immediately comes in, 1.5 sacks, and we're getting back on track now. Jets with a win over the Bills, 23-13. We sit here now, 4-4 after a 48-21 win. We're taking on the 7-1 Dolphins. Garrett Wilson was on the short end. It was 3 to 7 weeks. He's only out 3 weeks. We come in, we smash the Dolphins. Even though Richards is out, we are fairly healthy, and we're starting to heat back up now. This is what we're looking for. Garrett Wilson, welcome back, 2 touchdowns. Now, Quentin Williams gets hurt, and now we're down all of our D tackles. And even still, we're able to win 31-23. We then take our first loss on this little win streak, 27-17, to the Patriots, and Ashton Gelati goes down with a dislocated ankle. Brutal, but we, I think, have pulled ourselves back into at least getting the momentum that we needed Garrett Wilson being healthy is huge. 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. We beat the Chiefs 31-25, so even though Gelati couldn't play, Garrett Wilson, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. We're at prime Garrett Wilson right now, where he's entering like top 5 wide receiver talks. It had gotten scary, but everything turns out okay for this Jets team, and we do what we had intended to do, go out there and be a contender all over again. Shaw got hurt, broken ribs, 4 to 8 weeks. We lose to Baltimore at the end of the season, but at 10-6, simulating the final game of the regular season, we come out, get the win. So back-to-back seasons of 11-6, and we are in the playoffs. And it's against the Bills again, which we have taken them on quite a bit. We won the division, but for the Bills, who have already lost to us twice, we know what we're expecting, and this time around, for one, we'll say Sam Darnold won the MVP, which is weird, but Quentin Harris came third, and against this Bills team, we know what we're running into. We're not playing in the Buffalo snowy weather, but I think one thing that is really interesting is things didn't turn out the same way as they have been going in these games. Close battles, close encounters. We end up dominating 41-14. There was nothing to really show you guys in this one. It was just pure domination from the very start. And Josh Allen, the story of Josh Allen, can't beat Mahomes, and then once Mahomes and the Chiefs started slipping a little bit, couldn't beat the Jets. Kind of feel bad for the guy, but Braylon Allen actually steps in and actually plays pretty solid, has one of his better games. So credit to Braylon Allen for stepping in over the Tootin injury, and good production from the defense. Everything went well. I mean, 41-14, not going to complain about that. And Quinnen Williams, Joe Tippmann, Gelati, Tootin, all hurt, and we take on the Baltimore Ravens. So another familiar opponent. This one, though, it is the rubber match for the Baltimore Ravens. They beat us in the first encounter. We beat them in the second encounter. And now an all-important third encounter between the Baltimore Ravens. All 3 of them have been on the road in Baltimore. And can we beat Lamar Jackson just like we did last year? Will Scadaboo put the ball on the ground twice? I don't know. Baltimore is up 21-14. They're 14-3. They are the 1 seed. They are the favorites. And they have done it before. They've won a Super Bowl. They've made a Super Bowl. They've gotten to that point. But can they get past us this time around? As Harris over the middle finds Garrett Wilson for the first down. And at the 44-yard line, it's going to be play action. And it goes Harris down the field. And Garrett Wilson's over 100. 16-yard line. Draw. Harris. He's finding his way through right at the line. 2nd and inches. And it turns to 3rd and inches. They try to sneak in. And Matabike stops them. 4th and inches. And they're not going for it. I don't love that. I would have totally went for it. It's 4th and inches. Gotta trust your offense. And now Lamar, still up by 4, will take over. It's 2nd down and 3. Go to Scadaboo, who is trying to get a little bit of a redemption after his last season and how that ended. As Scadaboo on the sweep. As shooting the gap, Dorian Williams gets the stop. 2nd down and 13, as out of the backfield, they're going to get a completion to their other running back who came out, and then it's going to be 3rd down and 3 and an incomplete pass. Dorian Williams was there. Nice job. Play action now as Harris to the outside. Braylon Allen breaks a tackle, and Braylon Allen settling nicely into this backup role. I think it's been a good thing for him. He hasn't proved to be the starter that I had hoped for, but a nice backup as Kyle Pitts getting it to about midfield, and Harris is going to throw over the middle, and there is a slaro for Jalen Coker. As Coker gets us to the 34-yard line. We're in field goal range, and there's Coker again. 1st down, and when the playoff lights shine, it's Jalen Coker coming up with big plays. And there's Barber for the 1st, and Barber to the 4-yard line. Now into the end zone. Kyle Pitts, touchdown, and the Jets got the lead. And the Jets are playing a great 3rd quarter. They're playing a great 2nd half as a whole. That's what this team does. And a fumble on the ground! No, it happened again. It wasn't Scadaboo, but the fumble. And Dorian Williams picks it up. And the Jets having some flashbacks. Both teams having flashbacks to last year with the fumbling. And Jalen Coker for a gain of 17. As now the 3rd quarter coming to an end. You know what we're looking for? It's Garrett Wilson inside the 10 to the 9. Go. First play of the 4th quarter. Harris floating it. Garrett Wilson. Touchdown Jets. and we have ourselves a 2-score lead over the Ravens, and they don't know what hit them. This doesn't feel like hostile territory. We've been here 3 years in a row. We know what to expect. And Lamar on 3rd down and 8. He's going to go deep, and it is knocked away. Sauce Gardner, and the Jets take over, and Braylon Allen slips a tackle, and Allen, 1st down. As though we go to a 3rd down and 9. Can we get another conversion here? As they're going to go up top, and it's incomplete. And now the Ravens back to receive this punt. 9 minutes to play in a 10-point game. It's still plenty of time for the Ravens as kick is going to be fielded inside his own 20. Spin move. And it gets hit. Ball on the ground. Dorian Williams. Touchdown. Scoop and score. And he recovers his 2nd fumble of the day. And what a game from Dorian Williams. Hit by Leafau. And Williams' linebacking core is so good. They're even making an impact on special teams. 17-point game, 6 minutes to play. Lamar up top. Rashad Bateman with the grab, but you need a lot to happen if you're going to make a comeback in this one. Up the middle on the ground and a 1st down to the red zone with just under 5 to go, though. What do you got? Lamar has got Scatterboo. Touchdown. And the Ravens respond, but is it just too much to overcome? Can they get the quick stop? Well, it's going to be 3rd down, and it's going to be caught by Coker. 1st down. Jalen Coker at another clutch moment. Under 2 minutes to play. Harris got Kyle Pitts and another 1st to end this game. And the Ravens just got done in by the fumbles again. 2 fumbles again. 1 on special teams, 1 on offense. But that was the turning point once more. And this time they couldn't keep it as close. Just couldn't. I mean, Ravens fans got to be breaking their TVs over those fumbles. It's just crazy. Back-to-back years they had 2 fumbles late in the game. But we are moving on to the AFC Championship one more time in this video, taking on the Tennessee Titans. So we've had 1 encounter with them already, and Cam Ward looking to get to his 1st Super Bowl, I believe. And on the other side, they got an MVP Sam Darnold taking on Jaden Daniels. But let's go on the road here. Tennessee Titans. And let's see now if we can get to our 2nd straight Super Bowl. At the halfway point is 17-14 as Harris is going to throw one down the middle, and Russell Barber's got it to the 46-yard line. Play action. Harris, middle again, and there's Garrett Wilson now at the 26-yard line as it's going to be Harris. He's going to run. He's got the 1st. He's inside the 20. Inside the 10. Whiz inside the 5. Touchdown, Quinn Harris. And he uses his legs to score from 26 yards out, and he can run it very effectively. He doesn't need to, and he doesn't do it all that often. He can move, but he doesn't scramble a lot. But you can see how dangerous he is when he doesn't. Dorian Williams at a tackle for loss. He's played so good in this playoffs, as that Ward with a lot of time, but no one open down the field. They get 6. And the Jets take over in a 10-point lead as they go to the outside. And there's Kyle Pitts for a gain of 9 as it'll be 2nd down and 1. Handoff. Braylon Allen still the back for now, as Bishal might be back if we can make the Super Bowl, as it's going to be Harris outside. And there's Garrett Wilson. If he stayed in bounds, he could have been gone. And now at the 45-yard line, 2nd and 13. Harris has got him open, man. Kyle Pitts. It's just so hard to cover all these great players. How do you cover them all? As a sweep to the edge, and there's a backup running back. I don't even know who that is, to be honest, as that's going to be Harris breaking out of 1 sack, not 2, and they got in there. 4th down and a field goal try, and the kick is up and through the uprights, and that is going to be a 27-14 lead as 3rd quarter is just 4 minutes to go. And we'll see if the Titans can finally find some answers on offense. Ward over the middle. It's a 1st down and more. He gets past midfield. And now with 2 minutes to play in the 3rd, Ward going to try to step up. And there's Richards with the sack as Ward blitz sent in. He's going to try to beat the blitz, and he does. That's Alec Parker inside the 30-yard line. And as the 3rd quarter is slowly ticking away, the Titans slowly inching closer to a 1-score deficit, handing it off. 1st down in the red zone. He's at the 15. 4th quarter underway. Cam is going to swing one outside. He's got room to run, but not far. And it's 3rd and 7. from the 12. Ward has got the first down. Parker down to the 2. And they're finding Alec Parker a lot. And Ward is going to go for it again. Parker, touchdown. And grabbing one over Sauce Gardner is not something many people get to do. But Alec Parker puts it in, and it's 27-20, and now can the Jets find an answer with 10 minutes to play from the 27. They're going to go to Barber underneath, and there goes Russell Barber! He gets a block! Russell Barber! Too fast! 73 yards and a touchdown for the Jets! Just when you thought you were back into it with a one-score game, Russell Barber outruns your whole defense, and now Cam Ward's got to make up another 14-point deficit, and he's getting sacked. And now this is where we get to tee off on the pressure, and we get to just send everybody incomplete. 4th and 15, and they punt it. Understandable. They need to stop, though, as Harris in the face of pressure. Kyle Pitts hangs on. And that's 3rd and 10 at the 41. Can he get into field goal range? Yes, you can. Barber to the 31. And sending the field goal unit out there. Not going for it on 4th and 1. Kick is good. And it's a 17-point game. And a familiar spot for this Jets defense, holding on to a nice lead. I mean, it feels like every time they get into the playoffs, they're able to put up the points and put their defense into great situations. And now with under 5 minutes to play, Ward's got to put it in the end zone here. 4th down and 2 for Cam. Over the middle, keeps it alive. But, I mean, you could settle for the field goal, but I think they're going to prioritize getting that touchdown first as Alec Parker to the 25-yard line. 3 minutes to play. Time is really ticking. And an interception! Look who it is! Dorian Williams! Again! 1 of 2 playoff games. Tackles for losses, 2 fumble recoveries, an interception, a touchdown. Everything. Dorian Williams has got it. And this game is all over. The Titans score at the very end. But 37-27, and the Jets are headed to a 2nd straight Super Bowl. And do they have it in them to win back-to-back, as Cam Ward tried, but 3 interceptions, even though he threw 4 touchdowns. It was Quentin Harris having a nice day. Running game was not amazing, but it didn't need to be when you got Russell Barber going for 150 and 2 touchdowns. Alec Parker had 2 touchdowns. But the defense, how about a couple of sacks there? And the interception, Sauce, Baker, Williams. And we get to take on the Washington Commanders' Jaden Daniels in the Super Bowl. So Jaden made a Super Bowl once before. It was against the Ravens. They lost. He's trying to look for his first Super Bowl victory. And Quentin Harris is looking for his 2nd straight, as we have turned into a little bit of a Chiefs Mahomes-like situation here, where he's made the AFC Championship at least every single year in his first 4 years, and now is looking for his 2nd ring in his 2nd Super Bowl appearance. Can it happen for Quentin Harris? And can we end this video on a high note with a Super Bowl victory? Or will Washington get their ring and get Jaden his? As it's 16-7, well, so far it's not been good for the Jets. It's been all Washington in this one, as their offense is just as good as ours, it feels like. I mean, you've seen the ratings, 91 and 92. They're on par. They're the only offense that talent-wise keeps up with ours. And, you know, when it comes to injuries as well, we're all healthy. We're good to go. That was Bayshall Tootin for the first down. So we got our star players back, and we got our guy who won the Super Bowl MVP last year, as Harris is going to get sacked and he fumbles. We keep it, but we'll have to punt it away. And now Jaden in the offense takes over, and that's going to be a completion. 3rd down and 5 for Daniels. He's going to get pressured, and the blitz gets in there for a sack. We take over at the 48. We're going to find Garrett Wilson to set up 3rd down and 3. As we're going to the air, Harris swatted down at the line. Washington's defense has had a nice answer for us so far. As halfway through the 3rd, Daniels is going to take off and run it, and he's going to slide down for a 1st down. And both quarterbacks able to scramble when they need to. Now a screen, he gets it off before he got sacked, and a big gain. As that's going to be, I believe, Dylan Sampson is one of their running backs. So you got another group of guys in there, but Daniels on the read option slides, and it's 3rd and 2 as they go play action, and over the middle and a 1st down. Washington inside the 15, handing it off, and Dylan Sampson, 2nd and inches at the 2, back him up, 3rd down and 2 from the 4. Daniels chased, sacked. Washington has it 4th down though, as it's Jamie and Sherwood doing a little dance in front of Jaden Daniels, and Quentin Williams joining it too. The defense is having a little bit of fun, but the offense really needs to put on some points to help them out. Kick is good. 19-7 is your score. Swing it out. Beischel backwards pass, and he loses 3. 3rd and 13. Third quarter's running out, and they only got 7 points on the board, and they go 3 and out. And this is not what we need to see from this offense, but the defense helps us out a little bit in the third quarter. 3rd down and 15. It's wrapped up, and Quinnen Williams wrapping up Jaden with a sack. Quinnen wants his 2nd in a row, and he is shining in the Super Bowl spotlight as now the 4th quarter underway. Harris swatted at the line again. Washington has all the answers, it seems like, but can Harris overcome it as he has to go 3 and out again? Jaden on the read option. He's got room sliding for 8. And now 2nd down and 2. Jaden keeps it. Jaden got a block down the field. Daniels down the sidelines to the 45-yard line. He's got 82 yards on the ground. And just stop letting him run the football. Big play. Pass sauce. He's in. But there is a flag down. And I don't think he realizes. I think now he sees that he's running back. But this touchdown, it's coming back, I think. As the referees, I think they're sorting it out. It's going to be a legal man downfield, and Washington take the touchdown off the board. 3rd and 15, and they're not going to get it if Washington got it. I think that would have been maybe game 3's touchdown lead, but now the Jets have a chance to get back into it, and Beischel takes the big hit, but they're past midfield. And if the Jets are able to score here, what would it do for the mental of Washington to have that touchdown that could have ended it? They got taken away. Harris sheds out of a sack, throws it, got Barber, what a play! To the 27, 1st down and 10. Keeper, he's going to get past the defender and get 9 in the red zone. Handing it off, and there goes 2 and breaking 2 tackles, and Beischel got it a goal to go. 5:45 to play. Another draw. He's got it inside the 5, down to the 2. And now for the touchdown to be cut down to a 1-score deficit. He's at the 1. Come on, stick it in. He's got it. Touchdown, Jets. And they're down to just a 5-point deficit. Washington, can they run out this clock? Can they maybe put points up on the board to make this lead more comfortable as they go pop pass? Sauce got spun out, but he's still only going to get 2 yards. 3rd down and 1. Jaden on the read option. Jaden goes down. He has to punt the football. And now Washington's defense is reeling. Beischel for 12. 2:30 to play. Turned out of the backfield. He's got 2nd down and 3 from the 46. Harris got the 1st down to Barber at midfield. 1:39 to play in this Super Bowl. Harris in the face of pressure, on Newton with the sack. And now 2nd and 17. Throw to the outside. Barber, 1st down and out of bounds. Can they pull it off? 38-yard line. 1:20 to play. And Harris gets rid of it. Gets it to Barber. And now at the 21-yard line. Over the middle. Garrett Wilson makes a move. Touchdown, Jets. Garrett Wilson puts it in the end zone with just under 1:20 to play. And the Jets, out of nowhere, got the lead. And Washington can't believe it. As Garrett Wilson, is he the Super Bowl hero? 2-point conversion. Braylon Allen not going to get it. And it's 20-19. Jaden Daniels, can he get on a game-winning field goal drive? Well, it's a good start and a 1st down. As now they go at another completion. 2nd down and 5 now with under a minute to play. Daniels over the middle. Incomplete. 3rd down and 5. Daniels underneath. 1st down. And they're at midfield. Maybe just 10 to 15 more yards with 45 seconds to play. Underneath. He's going to get a very short gain. Gain of 3. Washington hurrying it back to the line. They got their one timeout, but they're trying to hang on to it. As Daniels is, I think, just going to spike the football. They're going to save that one timeout, get a play over the middle of the field probably, and burn it, kick that field goal. But the sack! You've got to be kidding me. Quinnen Williams gets through. And now Washington, this is their final opportunity. Can they get into field goal range? Daniels is sacked again. And Washington chokes away the Super Bowl. How about back to back for Quinn Harris taking the knee? Game is over. And Washington up 19-7 for a good portion of this game. They were up by 2 scores, and the turning point, a touchdown taken off the board with an illegal man downfield. Jets take over, put it in the end zone, get a stop, put it into the end zone again, and steal a 1-point Super Bowl victory. What a game, what an ending, and a back-to-back. I would not have thought that this is how things would have turned out. Quentin Harris is everything we could have asked for from the number 25 overall draft pick at the quarterback position, and we get to hoist a second Lombardi. And there's no doubt that even though this team would have went into some cap situations that wouldn't be all that great, this team was set up for years to come to succeed at the highest level, as Jaden Daniels, he did what he could. He ran it really well, but Garrett Wilson, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. Quinnen Williams, 3 sacks. Incredible in the Super Bowl. Ashton Gelati got 2, and he proved to be a big pickup for us. Quentin Harris wins Super Bowl MVP, and a great 4 years for him. Every single year, yards up, completion percentage up, sacks down, efficiency, everything was just a little bit better for him, it felt like, and he just played better. He played more comfortable, and you could really tell that once he got into the playoffs and he got comfortable, he settled in, he had that playoff experience, and he was just ready for those big moments. And he proved that he was every bit the franchise quarterback that we wanted him to be. By Shaw, he missed 3 games. He would have had 1,000 yards. He was a really clutch pickup for us. Garrett Wilson missed 3 games on the season and still put up that season, that 16 touchdowns in 14 games. I mean, if he played the whole year, you could see the yards per game average. He was going to top 1,500 again. And I mean, we turned Garrett Wilson into a guy who had 8 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. How about also Russell Barber, 1,100 yards from undrafted rookie to a absolute major contributor. And then how about also incredible signing Jalen Coker, came up big in the playoffs so many times, was just such a great complimentary piece. This team wasn't built off superstars and legends and trading for every big name that you can find. Kyle Pitts was a bit of an afterthought. Jalen Coker, undrafted. Russell Barber, undrafted. We traded for Quentin Nelson. That was the big move. But Jamian Sherwood, a homegrown talent that we developed into a multiple-time Pro Bowler and capitalizing off his big breakout year. Dorian Williams, cast it away from Buffalo. Quinnen Williams was here. Will McDonald, first-round pick from the Jets. Didn't have to go and outsource him. The offensive line, 4 out of the 5 guys stayed here from day one. We didn't need to make a lot of moves on the offensive line. Everything on this team was pretty locked in. We got Budda Baker, we got a couple of other guys, but I think this was a very realistic rebuild. I think I accomplished my job of not making things too crazy. We didn't trade up for some crazy draft pick. We didn't trade for a bunch of superstars. We didn't make any unrealistic, wild moves. I thought we did this pretty fair. And you guys can let me know how you thought of this video and how the structure and how the format went. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And if you want to see more like this, let me know how you want it to go. If you'd prefer, like, you know, I wanted to do 5 years, spectate the second half, but maybe you want, like, maybe prefer like 7 years, but only spectate the fourth quarters. And also, you know, just let me know how you want to see these videos go, if you want more in general. And if so, tell me what teams you want me to rebuild. I thought this was a really good job, and I thought this was really fun as well. So I hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe, like I said, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.